Live. Are you ready to rumble? Bum, 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 bum. Wait, we're gonna get DNC for that. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
What's up, everybody?
Bung bung bungs into bank banks. Bank.
Just
bank,
pull
bank,
up,
bank.
just pull a Vanilla Ice and like add a note. I'd be like, it's not copyright. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are Geek Garden. Welcome to the Stay Indoors podcast, the only podcast on the internet that features me with a ridiculous mustache. As always, I am Kelly McCabe, and I am joined today by the baffling Brandon Horn.
Ooh, hello.
The sedentary Sean Fabish.
Sedentary.
Thank you.
You a rock?
I think.
And the jittering Jack Tan.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So we're gonna have a big discussion about video games and stuff today, as we usually do. But before that, I want to know how you guys are doing, and specifically, Brandon, I think you have a big announcement to make about how Halloween went and how we did. Take it away.
Fucking amazing. This is what happened. Yeah. Okay. So this week was pretty fucking rad, my guys. I'll do my shit first. So my week was good. Work was busy, but we're doing house renos and stuff, and like they're moving on. I finished painting my bathroom yesterday, which is nice. It doesn't look like all fucking Victorian or fucking like Professor Umbridge pink anymore. That shit's gone. But no, more importantly, we had a fucking sick ass Halloween stream, okay? And we have no one to thank but the fucking community, because they're fucking rad as shit. So we had a charity stream. We were raising money for Able Gamers, which if you guys don't know, go check them out. They raise money to make games more accessible to everybody. It's amazing. And we were just like, you know what? Let's do like $500. $500. I don't know. Like maybe we'll make it, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. We hit $604. Thanks
Canadian.
to our fucking rad. Yeah, $604. No, that's American.
Oh,
$604 is American.
That's American. And
We
then it was
made
like
$800 Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys killed it. I'm seeing you guys in the chat right now. Many of you are to thank for that. And yeah, it was just a great night. We played some Jackbox games with Jakey and Jordan and like a bunch of other streamers. Warwick, I see you in the chat. We missed you there, buddy. Thank you for the follow, by the way. It was just a great night. We played Dead by Daylight, got our spook on. I got murdered several times. It was fantastic. But yeah, it was a very, very cool night. We gave some art away from Lauren. Lauren did some sketches for some people. She gave somebody won like the same thing that we get done. We got done like the face thing, and then someone got a half body drawing for donating the most. Which, by the way, the top donator was a free show with like $264 American, which is
absurd.
Which is a third of what we made. So thank you, or more than a third.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, like it's fucking amazing. And we didn't like, and I kind of give a bit of a thank you last night when we were on stream, which by the way, we played Phasmophobia last night. Fuck that game.
So
Fuck that
fun.
game.
Hey,
So
so
right
I
out.
watched the trailer for that with Sam the other day just because I was like kind of curious. And the trailer is so scary because nothing happens.
Yep.
And the entire time you're just waiting for it. You're like, I know
Yeah.
it's coming. And the character keeps going into like a corner with their flashlight and then spinning around really fast and there's nothing there and it's almost scarier than if there was something there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, okay. So very, very quickly,
Great.
me and Sean had never played the game before, but we played with Josh, and Josh, of course, being Josh, just like knew fucking everything and knew the meta of the damn game. And we start playing, and you're given like a list of objectives, and there's a bunch of things you can do to figure out what the ghost is. And so you go in, you're like, okay, is it cold? Does the EMF reader go off? Like, is there this other stuff? Blah blah blah. And we completed the whole mission, and we didn't fucking see the ghost. And I was like, this is how the game works. I fucking hate this. But I know that it's possible to see the ghost because I've seen other people play it and get fucking scared to shit.
Well, we encountered a phantom, which I don't think you see because you have to take a picture to stop it, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think you're right. Yeah,
are
yeah.
just like poltergeists, and you can't like see them.
You have to take
Which
a
makes
photo.
it scarier because you don't like. There's a certain level of like reprieve that you get in like a horror game when you know the thing is gonna show up and then you see it and you get like that tension kind of eases off. Like it's terrifying when it happens, but then you get like that moment of like, okay, the thing happened. And you, like the rubber band like goes back to normal. You've been pulling it, and you let it go, right? But when you just never see it, you just keep pulling on that rubber band the whole time.
But it's like
So scary.
like bullshit because as soon as you walk into the house, it just goes like, and it's like this really tense, like toned sound that just like as soon as you walk in the front door, I'm like, what? Why? You could just kept it
Literally-
completely quiet. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do
The
that?
first thing we did, I was like, let's go to the basement.
I fucking hated it. But anyways, last night while we were
It's like,
streaming,
I don't have a flashlight.
I
I don't have a flashlight.
I did a bit of a thank you.
Flashlight, and I didn't.
I did a bit of a thank you, but sincerely, it was such a blast, and I'm really, really happy that everything happened, and I'm excited to adventure further into that charity style streaming. I actually meant to mention that I think I'm gonna donate some extra money too, because it feels weird collecting a bunch of money and then not donating myself. So I'm gonna make a bit of a donation. I don't know if you guys want to join me on that. Doesn't have to be a lot, but I'm just gonna make a small donation to add on to the tremendous amount we fucking collected from our audience. So. But yeah, I'm excited to like we're gonna fucking Christmas it up, my guys,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're definitely doing some charity streams, if not multiple. Like I'm just super excited for the future, and it was great. It was
The way of the
fantastic. It was great.
The way of the future.
Yeah, that
We
was
are
rad.
the future.
Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I actually just got a little bit of like sort of scary bad news. Not my sister, but probably her, but my sister's roommate's boyfriend, who's been in close proximity of them, just tested positive for COVID. Literally just got that before we got on the thing. So that
no.
like sucks. I haven't seen her in a while, so like more than a few weeks. So I'm not
That's good.
worried about my personal safety or anything like that, but yeah, it still blows. It's
Yeah.
like one more thing to add on to the pile of garbage, right? But yeah, other than that, I have had a pretty good week. I'm thinking about this stupid Destiny video we're gonna make and how dumb it's gonna be. I had a dream
Gonna be
about
so
it
dumb.
yesterday. I was like, I woke up and was like, that was so weird. Was that a stress dream or was that like just a weird dream?
Stress.
I couldn't tell.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Maybe. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't done anything in so long. What's it gonna be like to do something? Yeah. Other than that, it's been pretty cruisy. I've been running baseline. It sucks that it gets so fucking dark all the time, but
Good old
that's the nature
Vancouver.
I'll do it.
of Vancouver.
Yeah, it's like almost noon and it's very bleak outside. It's very,
Yeah.
very bleak outside.
I want to sit on my balcony and read a comic or something. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
Because I just love the rain.
I would like
That's
to go
fair.
outside, but it's cold.
Gotta bundle up.
Same, Sean. Same.
Bundle up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack, how you doing? What's going on, man?
Everything's okay. I have flight scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday. I don't think I can do tomorrow because based on weather, probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday is also a possible if because again, not going to probably happen. But it was actually I got an email recently from the CFI, who is the chief flight instructor. But it wasn't like me specifically to me. It was like for the whole entire for every student in the school. But apparently, there was an accident at the school. Someone crashed a C-152 at the end of the runway into grass. It was just like a propeller and wing scenario that hit the grass. Apparently it wasn't like a big deal, or I mean it is a big deal, but like the
Everyone's fine.
the solo pilot, yeah, is fine.
That's good.
Yeah, and it was just like because there has been like that recently, not recently, but like it has been that before. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you just sort of don't expect it, but you also do expect it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously that
These
shit
are
happens.
Like it's gonna happen
fucking
eventually, kind of thing.
machines. Yeah,
Yeah.
big fucking machines we're using.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Did hearing that like freak you out at all? Did you get like a moment of like, oh god, it could have been me, or were you like idiot, or like what? Like where were you at?
Obviously, like I don't know the aspects around what like the accident or whatever. It is a solo flight, so obviously it is probably the solo flight the pilots like maybe doing. I wouldn't say wrongdoing, maybe like you missed something or something like that. So
User
it's like
error.
it's like one of those things where it's like it's obviously human error, so like sometimes it's unavoidable, that one sort of thing.
Robots
Like-
should fly planes. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but like it's like he like listed out suggestions just to say like this is what like we're investigating just to see like well see what happened, and then like it could be a number of reasons why if this was the reason like you could do this to avoid that sort of thing.
Right.
So like obviously it's not like he's not like blaming anybody, it's just saying like you can just just consider that these options sort of like that.
He like emails the rest of the school and he's like, okay, who the fuck forgot to turn on the e-brake? It fucked up this flight.
No, but also
too much.
another part of that email, as soon as you said break, another part of that email is also like also for anybody who uses the brakes like solely on the ground, don't do that. Like what he means is there are certain procedures that you're supposed to take obviously when you're on the ground. So you're not supposed to press hard on the brakes when you're on the ground because it kind of ruins the brakes and also the tires at the same time. So you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You're obviously supposed to brake on the ground, but you're not supposed to like really press on it. And apparently that's what people have been doing. Also, he says to make sure your feet aren't in a position when you're sitting down before takeoff, so that your heels are on the floor and your toes are just touching the pedals. Because apparently people who have taken off while their heels are on the pedals and therefore their toes are on the brakes, which is weird. I don't know why. I don't know why people are doing that, but obviously that you're not supposed to do.
And they're
that
doing it
in
without
brake
realizing it.
during
Yeah.
takeoff. So
Yeah, you don't want that.
So it's kind of strange why he mentioned it, and like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why people are doing that.
Well, it's like a good teaching moment, right? Like when something
Sure.
goes wrong, just like mention all the things that can help prevent that from happening again.
Sean, did you just hear the stuff that
yeah.
was going on outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of there's like an oil truck and shit. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but
Okay, yeah, I can hear some like construction vehicles or something coming.
They're like in our front lawn.
yeah, like literally it's
yeah.
parked in our driveway, which kind of sucks. But
Well, they're
figure it out.
probably working on
House across the street.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
I have no idea.
But,
Kelly, how was your week?
Hi.
Hey, you.
My week was pretty good.
Mustache
I had,
man.
Obviously, a mustache man.
It's
It's
you,
really.
not
I
me.
feel like I should be wearing like aviators and like a cop's hat. Like I just feel like I'm like a stereotypical cop.
Have like
you
a
know?
donut and a coffee.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
taking
exactly.
The donut in your mouth?
Donut and a coffee.
But no, I had a pretty good
I'm
week.
locked
Obviously,
in here.
it's kind of weird because I love Halloween. I love to like really decorate and like go out and do stuff. Like Sam and I hosted that murder mystery party a few years back.
Oh,
Yeah.
so fun.
So fun.
I really love like doing Halloween big. So obviously this year we couldn't really do that. So the stream was a really nice thing to have. And Sam and I watched a Halloween movie. And I was trying to find our Halloween decorations before that, and I could not find them to save my life. And I went down to our storage unit and like opened every box and stuff that we have. I couldn't find anything. And then I came home from physio on Halloween, and Sam had managed to find some stuff. So she like put up some lights and had like, I have like that weird skeleton spider. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's
Yep.
like a little spider made of bones.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like that's sitting in front of the TV.
I hated it.
And, like, there's just like
I
some
loved it.
orange. There's like orange and purple lights and stuff, and she like decorated the place. And we have this little like plant pot that's kind of looks like a pumpkin. It's really small. It's only like this big. But we like emptied it out and cleaned it, and then we've been filling that with candy and leaving it on the table. So it's like this little
Nice.
like plastic metal looking pumpkin thing,
Mhm.
and then it's just been filled with the candy we have. So yeah, that's been pretty good. And then week was pretty good. Week was pretty good overall. I had a
Nice.
good Halloween. I really enjoyed the stream. Thanks again to everybody who come and hung
It's
out
fucking
and donated
rad.
and
It was
everything.
so
It was
cool.
it was really good.
So
really
cool.
awesome.
To give a brief update on the sound, apparently that is Telus here, Sean, to update our
Yeah.
fiber optics.
Yeah, dude,
But-
trust me.
No, they're just running the line to the house. The actual hookup. Oh, okay, so they're just running the line to the house, and they're still hooking up on the 7th. I thought they were here early. I was like, are they gonna knock out our internet right now?
Yeah, I was like, well,
That's
we'll get
not
back to you.
cool.
Well,
But we're getting our internet upgrade to chat, so we can stream more and faster. And Sean and I can maybe both
that
stream, and
supposed
it's
to be
gonna be
like-
great.
like months ago, was that the one you were?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
because it's bull-
it's that one, right?
It's
Okay.
it's fucking weird because like Telus has techs, but they also rely on like third party companies to like come in and like do the construction and shit. So when we originally asked for it, like back in like July, June even, they were like, oh yeah, like we're not doing it because of COVID. So you're gonna have to wait until there's a booking free. And we're like, when's that gonna be? And they're like, I don't know. We're like,
Right.
thanks. But
for that.
because we had fiber optics at our old place and they saw we had fiber optics here, there was a small time where they disconnected us from copper, which is like the old style. And so we just didn't have internet because they showed me like, oh, you don't have fiber. And I was like, well, can we get copper back? They're like, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. You're like, really? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
You
It's
gotta
just
go
stupid.
through up high.
So now they're digging up my front yard and putting a underground thing that goes to the opposite corner of the house, which is then going to hook up and give us fiber optics. But they're not setting it up until the 7th. Why? I don't know, but whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. We're getting
Hey,
fast
At least
internet
you're
now.
gonna have
Brandon.
that stuff ready. So
Super fast internet.
so fast.
You think you can outrun me?
I am the internet.
You think that's air you're breathing now? It's fiber optics.
Breathing fiber optics. That's the Matrix for you, man. I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you.
Seeing in code, breathing fiber optics.
far
It's
as
the
I can
world
go
I
now.
want. That's the real
Um,
dystopian world I want.
So I want to talk about video games with you guys today. I
That's
wanna do a
no, that's
little-
stupid. We should
a
change the
little
subject.
trip down
No.
memory lane.
No video
But
games.
first,
Here.
before we
with
get to
us.
that,
This
Together.
podcast. Video games?
In a group.
In a group?
Separately.
Separately with all?
With
Together?
us. All in one.
As friends?
As one.
Together.
But apart.
But together.
But separately.
And as one.
As two.
And 3.
And maybe 4.
5. Special guest.
Avengers, assemble.
I gotta go.
So,
I have to leave.
I can't remember the last time I updated you guys, but I think it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I don't
I think it was
remember. I have
2
no sense of
podcasts
time.
ago.
Anyway, at some point, there was a sale in like the marketplace. They put everything that you can buy with like real world money was like 50% off. And on top of that, they gave everybody like a bundle of the premium currency. If you log in, you can still get it. If you log in before November 5th, you'll get like enough money to buy like a legendary. It was like a full price legendary skin and something else. They just like gave it to you. It was like 14 American dollars, I think, worth, or like 15 American dollars worth or something.
Interesting.
To anyone who logs in that time. Plus some other currencies and stuff. It was very much like a thank you for sticking with us bundle, essentially, you know?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they put it, like I said, they put everything 50% off. That was supposed to be for like a weekend, I think. And then when that sale ended, they then said, oh, we're actually going to permanently be discounting like the nameplates, emotes, and takedowns. Those are just, their permanent prices are now half of what we originally had.
Okay.
Sure.
And they put like the skins back up to full price. And then
Yeah.
within like half a day, they put the skins back down to 50% off, and they just said
wow.
like those are going to be there for now, and haven't said when or if those are going to be going back up to full price.
I mean,
What made them go back immediately so quick? Maybe because they realized their
probably
sales just stopped.
desperation.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like the last act of a desperate man.
It's like,
But-
hey man.
Yeah.
I think it was
not monetized.
the thing is like the community's been asking for all that to go on sale because like it's ridiculously overpriced. Like a single legendary skin is 14 American dollars at
So
full
dumb.
price, and the skins are like you can also then buy recolors that they also put in the store. It's like the same texture and the same like model, but with like a different color palette. So like the amount of money you could spend on like just skins for one character is like fucking ridiculous. So they put them on sale and everybody was like asking for that and has been wanting those to be the permanent prices for a long time. And so I think after seeing the sale, I think they had some people who actually bought some skins, and then it
Yeah.
went back up and everybody just like wasn't happy, and so they really quickly like went back
Yep.
to put stuff on sale.
Fair enough.
Um,
$14 for a skin. A
And I
skin
bought a
should
skin
not be
not
more
with-
than a fucking game.
Yeah, exactly. Not with any of like the money that I haven't spent any money, but I've built up credits from doing like the challenge cards and stuff. So when they went back and lowered them again, because I missed most of the sale, when they went back and lowered them again, I went in and I was like, all right, I want their metrics to show that they're selling more skins with the discount. So I like went in and bought like a Captain America skin that I kind of liked. And an Iron Man skin that was on sale, so I got 2 of them for essentially the price of one. And that was like the money that they gave us, so I didn't even use any. I don't think of the credits that I earned in the game. But yeah, just another Avengers update of how the game is really, really trying to get people to stick around and spend money. That's where we're at.
Okay. Meh. If I
So-
remember, I'll sign in and get that currency, but
I don't remember.
I've already forgotten.
I've already forgotten.
But more
Where am I?
importantly, in but a few short weeks, my friends,
Cyberpunk comes out?
actually technically less than 2 weeks,
no, sorry,
Um,
Sean.
the next generation consoles will be upon us.
Oh yes.
Bum-ba-rum.
I think the Xbox launches on November 10th, and then the PlayStation is on November 12th. So they're very
Mhm.
very close together.
I don't remember
Um,
them ever being that close before. Like that is like
Yeah, normally there's like a few
Weird.
month kind of gap.
yeah, or like a month or something. Yeah, strange.
Yeah.
Some amount of time.
Because it's always been very obvious which one released first, and then they've always had like an up on the competition or whatever. But weird.
But right now, I don't want to talk about next gen. I want to talk about current/last gen. I want to talk about the gen that was, the places we've been. Oh,
So
the
it's over
games
already.
you'll play. It's almost over.
They're dead.
I know none of us are getting like next gen right at launch, but
Which is
um,
Garbo. 'Cause I want one.
Hey man,
Content.
if I can write it off now,
yeah, right.
I might get it ASAP.
That is, if you
but-
find any.
I have I have found a list of pages, basically The Guardian, the website, and like newspaper publication, whatever. I just went to them, and they have, by year they did like lists of like the best games that came out that year, or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go through the games. So the PS4 came out in 2013.
This is correct.
That is
So-
bonkers.
I know, right? Hold on. Some
What?
of these are...
When did we all move together? 2014?
2015.
2015?
2015.
Was it 2015?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because Julie and I were dating, and we started dating December of 2014.
Are you sure?
Dang.
Yeah, we moved in July
2004?
of 2015.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Because I was also out of school, and I graduated May.
Oh yeah, because it was 2011.
Oh, 2015.
Right? 3 years after. Yeah, okay.
That's
Yeah.
bonkers. That's bonkers.
Hey.
So what I want to do here is it's obviously a lot of games, so we don't need to have like a huge
Let's fucking do it.
crazy discussion about everything. By the way, does anybody have a time limit today? Let me know. No,
I
5
have
minutes.
to
I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee.
go at 2 o'clock, or like I have to leave
Okay.
at 2 o'clock, so I have until like 1:30 ish.
Okay. So, and I already told Brandon, but I'm gonna have to get up briefly at one point to get my groceries that are getting delivered to my house. So I don't want to necessarily have like a full conversation about all these games. I'm gonna go through some of these, mention them.
Hour long on each game.
We would literally be here until the next podcast.
That's okay.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Wait, what?
I don't need to sleep. I ain't a bitch.
Drink?
Dream.
So if you really want to have like an in-depth conversation about a particular title when it comes up, let me know.
I'll
Just
make a very loud exclamation.
something like that. Otherwise, we're just gonna kind of keep barreling through, and it's more about like, oh yeah, remember that happened, and we'll kind of see. We're gonna look back on the trends of how we got from 2013 to here. So I'm gonna go through this list of 2013 games. Shout out to the Guardian for all of the like articles they have here, because I'm just using that as like a general. These are like the biggest game releases of each year according to the Guardian, so it's not gonna be like exhaustive by any means. And some of these, because it's 2013, I'm not going to go through and parse it, but a lot of these are actually like the generation before this one. Like
They
it's
just
gonna be
also released, yeah.
PS3 games. Some of these also released, some of them didn't. So I'm just going to go through.
To give, I was gonna say, to give context, we did not have a next gen console for a while. I think Jack was the first one to get an Xbox One.
Yeah.
And he had that by the time we'd moved out. Sean, you got a PS4
Yeah, I had
before any of
PS4.
us, and you brought it to the house, and that's how we all played some games.
Yeah,
And then it wasn't a while after that until Kelly and I got our own, and then we each got our own after that. So we were a little late to the game, but also in context, almost none of us had Xboxes. Jack, you had an Xbox to begin with, and then eventually got a PS4, and Sean, you eventually got an Xbox just so you could play some specific games. But other than that, Kelly and I never
Halo.
bought an Xbox.
You can say it.
Halo.
You can
all
say
of us-
Halo's name.
And all of us played. Oh, hello. Why are you? Is this probably save on? Okay. All of us played on the Xbox 360.
Yes, yeah, we were all freaking 360
That's
gamer
true.
boys. I
we
wonder
all
if Kelly
jumped
can
ship.
send the link. Oh God, dear God,
The whole list, Uga, is just Spider-Man PS4.
that's the whole list. Guardian best video games by year.
Okay. Yeah, I have like a whole bunch of different pages, just so you know, that I had to find. So I've got,
okay,
like, for each
okay.
year. But I probably got 5 minutes. Then groceries are gonna be here, which I'll be off for super quick, and then we'll keep going. But so I'm just gonna go through this list. Dead Space 3.
Oh, pretty
Yep.
fun game.
Yep.
I still
We
have to
never
play
played
it.
that one. We were playing through the
Alien?
Dead Space games. We never got there.
You missed
Never got
the
there.
one that's cooperative.
Yeah.
So did I.
Right.
So I
It was
can't-
also the one that most people say kind of killed the franchise because it became more of an action game than a horror game.
Yeah, that the change really happened in 2, but yes, you're correct.
Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch.
I
I didn't
loved
play
it.
that.
I played it years after it came out, but I loved it,
Mhm.
and I want to buy it and finish it, but I just don't have the time.
These are
to
all.
Yeah.
those are both old gen, aren't they? Those are both 360 and PS3 games.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm doing like 2013 because there's
I see,
some
okay.
crossover, I think at the end, but it's just like their list of 2013 games.
I understand. Okay.
So we're gonna kind of go through this. There's Aliens, Colonial Marines. Oh, I refuse to talk about that. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, a game
Didn't play
that
it.
I dearly love.
Did not play that.
Tomb Raider, the first Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider game.
Need to
Never-
play it
never
still.
Played it.
Want to play it.
Pretty good. Played it. Much better than Avengers. Gears of War Judgment.
You mean
Played
Gears
it?
of Doors?
Gears of
Gears of
Doors,
Doors.
not
Gears of
good.
Doors.
Not good. It's the Batman Arkham Origins. It's the we don't have it yet, but the Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's just like the small short side sequel. I don't know how the fuck you want to describe it. But this one was bad.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
It was
Gears
just
of Doors,
bad.
man.
Gears of
Bioshock
Doors.
Infinite,
It was pretty good.
which me and Jack and Brandon played together.
Yeah, that's fucking
Played
rad.
it
Yeah.
alone by myself.
We
in
hung
a
out. We
room.
passed off the controller. This was
Yeah,
obviously
we did.
before we lived together and before we got the new gen. But that was
We
like
didn't
a
like-
fun.
We didn't
Yeah.
like Sean, so we didn't include him.
Yeah, we didn't like Sean.
I forced my way into that house with a saw.
I invited you.
We were ready for
Yeah,
you.
with a chainsaw. I came to the front door.
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, more like
played it.
No idea.
Okay, moving on. The Elder Scrolls Online.
Jack, you played it, right?
What?
You played Elder Scrolls Online.
I did, but it's like it's like any other MMO RPG.
It's just the same
Yeah.
shit.
When it was announced, I was like really hoping that it was gonna be like just like an Elder Scrolls game that you could like play co-op with friends, but it was
Oh my
more like an
God.
MMO with an Elder Scrolls skin.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed about that.
Yeah.
And then the last one on their list for this year is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Barely
Yeah.
touched it. I just got it for PC.
it was
That
Which,
that
like-
game is still, it's so dumb.
Yeah,
that
that
game
game's
is
still
still
going.
one of the most played games and is like on next gen. It's coming to PS5 and Xbox.
dude. It's
What the fuck is it called? I
it's
don't even know
just
what
like
the-
The
Skyrim.
Series X.
Series X. Thank you. Oh my god, I
Xbox
actually
Series
forgot
X.
what the next Xbox was called. Jesus.
Yeah, and it like it still makes lists of like the top selling games in months, and so like it's
Yeah.
the game that will not be stopped. It will not be
Yep.
stopped.
It will when I end it.
So that was 2013. That's
Sure.
kind of setting the stage. That's setting the stage for the years to come. We're getting ready for the next gen consoles. We're not necessarily on them yet. Now we get the first one on the list for 2014 is Titanfall.
Yes.
Ooh, hell yeah.
I
Yeah.
have many good memories of playing Titanfall in our friend John's house when
Yeah.
he left me there because I basically lived there for like a few months while I was working night shifts.
I remember
Amazing.
this is a tangent, but I remember John like sitting me down in front of his computer to play the first Dishonored.
Yeah, very good. Very good game.
Like I didn't have it for anything else yet, and he was kind of like, "This game's amazing, play it." And so I was just over at his, and he like left to go do something or something, and I was just sitting there playing Dishonored for a little while.
I'm realizing I don't know if I ever touched the first Titanfall. I was very aware of it,
Oh.
but I don't know if I ever played it. Because it was
like
multiplayer
X-
only, right?
Yeah, it was Xbox One and PC only, and multiplayer
Yes.
only.
Oh,
Well, the cool thing was they released like I remember reading about this. There was actually like a previous gen version, like it was for the Xbox One, but they
Right.
did release a version for Xbox 360. And I remember reading at the time like articles about like the technical wizardry that Respawn had to do to like make
Make
it
that
run on the
work.
360, where they had to like do all this stuff where like stuff behind you would like spawn out and like they would drop textures on stuff like crazy when you weren't
Mm.
looking at stuff, so that like
Mm.
would super drop the processing power, and stuff that was like hidden behind other objects like wouldn't render and stuff, and like all these crazy things that they had to do to make it run on the old gen, because it was
Interesting.
made for
Interesting.
the Xbox One. I do
Yeah.
think this is when I think people really started to like take notice of Respawn though, which is a trend that hasn't stopped.
Yes, I would agree because it was such a cool idea. It's great.
Like,
Yeah.
they executed really well.
Titanfall,
Um,
bring it back, please.
Bring it
Yeah.
back.
One is a game called Hohokum, which I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what
Nope.
that is.
No clue.
We got FIFA. We got something called Ollie Ollie. We got the Banner
Oh,
Saga.
The Banner Saga, be good, be
Good.
good, be good.
I think I have that on the PlayStation, but I've never played it.
Yeah, I've like briefly looked at it, but I haven't played it. Sean, how do you feel about Banner Saga?
Okay. I really like the Banner Saga. I never finished the first game, and that's not for lack of wanting. If you like tactics combat, it's a good game to get into. It's got depth. It's got interesting ideas about positioning because of its like fantasy races. There are like giants, and then there are men. So giants just take up more tiles. They hit harder. They can take a little more damage, but ultimately you have to be careful with no matter who you put where. Um, it has some great ideas in it. I fell off not because I didn't want to keep playing it, but because I think I got to a point where I was just like, I just struggled. I'll come back to this, and then it timed out with a release of a game, and then I got busy, and then
Story of our lives.
weeks turned into months, and then months turned into it's been years now. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll go back to it, and it's still installed in my fucking PS4. I haven't ever uninstalled it. I just haven't ever gone back to it.
That's
There's
funny.
I think there's this special little place in everybody's like catalog of games for games that you genuinely want to go back to one day.
Yeah. I've actually just considered buying it on the Switch because it would make a way better Switch title than any of the other Switch
That
titles.
makes sense.
I really think.
But we have it for free on PlayStation, I think. So
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but if
I
you
can't
if you
remember.
got a game for free and then you ended up loving it, you know, you can kick the
No,
developers.
I'm just saying that like I already got it here. I didn't have to
Yeah,
spend the
yeah.
money, right?
Yeah.
The next game on this list is The Evil Within.
Oh.
Never
Has
played
anyone
it.
played it? I know it's like a pretty well-respected horror game, but horror isn't usually like a thing that we gravitate to. So
I haven't played.
Yeah, I definitely don't. As
Five Nights at Freddy's or
evidence
bust.
of last night.
Sean, you still have to play it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Like horror is not like a genre that I super love by any means. Like I don't go out of my way to watch horror movies or anything like that. But I also like generally don't scare super easily. Like even when I'm watching a horror movie, but for some reason even the prospect of a horror game makes me so panicked.
I don't scare easily either. It's just the atmosphere. It's just
Yeah.
it's so weird. Like when something like I don't really jump to jump scares very often. Like it's just but I'm just like why would I choose to
it's
be here?
I mean, why am I choosing to put myself through this? I think that's it. And like I think it's the interactivity of like this idea that like you can't just kind of be along for the ride. Like you have to keep going.
I hate that shit. I
You
fucking
can't
hate it.
really suspend your disbelief because you have to interact with it.
You make the bad things happen.
You have to push forward on the joystick. You have to press W on the key. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta sit there with the ghost and ask it if it likes pizza.
Oh God! I hate that Phasmophobia has mic recognition, like voice
Dude,
recognition.
yeah,
you have to
can
talk
speak to the ghost.
to the
It's dope.
ghost. Fuck.
Then we got Civilization Beyond Earth.
Yes, very good.
I
Oh,
was assuming
yeah.
you played this, Sean.
Yeah.
So it's just a Civ 5 clone, but sci-fi, which
Sci-fi,
was
yeah.
fun.
Did you
It-
play it, Jack?
Yeah. I only played a little bit of it.
Yeah, Jack and I got into a
Okay.
big Civ 5 binge one day.
Oh, yeah.
One month
One
or
day.
so. Civ 5 Beyond Earth is good. It needs
Is it Baby
some
Stellaris?
No, it's not even close. It's just sci-fi Civ. That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
It needs some more content. Like it needs some more ideas going on because it's very easy to kind of just finish its 3 ascension paths and you're like, well, I've played one of each. Not many more play styles are really going to make me feel like this game's got more to offer.
Did they ever make like a Beyond Earth 2?
No, they didn't. No.
Is that
And-
something that you would be interested in seeing?
Probably not. Like I don't know. Like they'd have to change like quite a bit to that game, and because of how those like sort of strategy games like to dole out DLC, you can really only invest in maybe 1 or 2 before you're like, well, I can't really spend my time playing these 4X games forever, right?
Yeah.
Because a 4X game demands so much time of you. It demands like, okay, if you want to play a campaign, that's going to be 40, 50 hours. And then your first game is just going to be you learning how to play. And then your second game is going to be you playing with all those mistakes in mind. and then by your third game, if you're not bored with it, you're hooked on it.
Yeah.
And then and so you're like likely gonna play multiple games.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're like, okay, well, there's a new one out, and you just repeat the process again. You're like, okay, how do the mechanics work? How does everything work? Okay, by my fourth game, I'm like either hooked or I've like learned enough to be like, it's okay.
Yeah. I've always had like this weird relationship with strategy games where I like the concept of them. I'm always super interested in them. I want to play them, and then they're just like they never quite beat out other games that I'm like just a little bit more interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
so I can never jump into them. And part of it is also the time investment.
Yes, huge time investments.
Right?
Huge.
Like, I can jump into any other game and have a good time pretty quickly, but I gotta spend a lot of time.
It takes a while before I have a good time in an RTS.
Especially with like not even RTS, because like Stellaris and Civ, those are 4X strategy games. So those like the time investment is huge compared to like Age of Empires 2, for instance,
or like Warcraft, or like
those games have steep like high skill ceilings, but the difference is like an individual match takes 30 minutes. So you're like you're in and you're out and you're done. But like it's the actual like journey to getting good, that's the time investment.
I would love to check out StarCraft again. I used to play StarCraft 2 like a fuckload, and I'm pretty sure it's free to play now.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't really focus on many things on Blizzard's sort of peripheral. But if you're going to play an RTS, the most popular, well, not the most popular one right now, but the one that's gaining a lot of traction and has a wide player base is probably Age of Empires 2.
That's fair.
It just got a new release, and they're updating and supporting it like crazy. And honestly, I'd love to play Age of Empires 2 with you guys, because I'm not that much better than anybody at Age of Empires 2.
Fair.
Like Kyle has spent like dozens and dozens of hours in that game.
That checks out.
He's just like, oh, you're at 26 villagers on feudal? What are you doing? Like, are you fast castling? And I'm like,
what
the fuck?
You're like, what are those words? What are you saying here now?
I thought you just built villagers when you needed them.
StarCraft 2 is free to play now.
That's cool.
Ooh.
I'd be totally down to check out StarCraft 2 again, because I played that a bunch when it came out.
I was just qualifying the difference between like Stellaris and Civ versus like other real-time strategies.
Yeah.
And how the time commitment comes from like the journey to skill ceiling, as opposed to like just literally playing the game.
Right. I've always wondered, I've heard the term, but I've never actually like known precisely what it meant. A 4X strategy game, is that the kind of strategy game where you like are building your civilization from the start to like the peak of the civilization? Is that what the term 4X refers to?
Pretty much. 4X, it's an abbreviation for explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. So,
okay, cool.
They generally have multiple ways to victory, multiple win conditions, and multiple ways to, barter or engage with the AI, whether through diplomacy or through just outward aggression. Like there's generally some
your
not
4X
binary
game
system.
your 4X game is gonna be more about like having political options and stuff, and your combat is probably gonna be something that you control a little bit less directly, that you just kind of set a number that represents your troops against a number that represents their troops and kind of see what happens.
More or less, like a good
more often
4X.
than not.
Yeah, more often than not. Like Total War is a good example of not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, more often than not, that's correct.
Yeah, because Total War has 4X elements, but also blends in like real-time elements.
Yeah, which is why it's great. That's also why I like Stellaris. Like Stellaris is happening in like a day per second ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you gotta think logically. You can pause at any time, which is really nice about Stellaris. But yeah, you have to think about like what dominoes you want to set up, which is really fun.
Cool.
And then you're also just putting out fires constantly.
Next up on our list of 2014 games is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Next up on our list of 2014.
Wait, which one was fucking Advanced Warfare? Was that like the sequel to
That was
Modern
the
Warfare
first
2?
one with exoskeleton.
That was like the sci-fi kind of
Yeah,
one.
that was
Oh,
the-
yeah.
that was the first game
The
that they
one where the
introduced.
trailer actually looked really fucking cool,
No, that's
and then it ended up just
Infinite
being another
Warfare.
fucking Call of Duty, and it was like whatever.
No,
Yeah, I
that
remember
was
that.
Infinite Warfare because we were like, oh shit, space combat. Oh,
Oh,
shit, grappling
okay,
hook in
yeah,
space,
yeah.
and then it was like
Oh yeah.
Call of Duty. And we're like, oh,
Yeah.
Never mind.
never
Yeah.
mind.
The next one though is still
Oh,
having a
fuck,
lasting
yes. Fuck
impact.
Kevin Spacey.
Is Hearthstone.
Oh, that came out in 2014.
Yeah, dude.
It's not Gwent. I don't care.
So
Go and play
old.
some Gwent.
How crazy is that?
Hearthstone is such an interesting
the point.
beast because it paved the way for things like Magic Arena and other digital, and I'd argue Gwent too, like digital card games, TCGs.
Bazak, you mean?
But they're not TCGs because you can't trade them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Um,
CCGs.
CCGs. What's
Card
yeah.
games.
Wait.
No, it's a
card games.
collectible card game.
Collectible
Oh,
card game.
okay.
Collectible
Card collecting
yeah.
game.
No, card game.
I played Hearthstone a little bit and I was engaged with it, but I've never been a big fan of the aesthetic of like, because Hearthstone exists over all of Blizzard's properties, right? So
It's primarily like Warcraft.
it's primarily their fantasy, and I think actually that might be all it is. I've never been a big fan of Warcraft's like slightly more, like at least Hearthstone's approach to like a slightly more cartoony fantasy world. When
That's
I could,
definitely what
when I
Blizzard
could,
goes for.
yeah, when I could play Magic, which is a little more just like high fantasy, just in general. I'm glad it exists. There's a lot of people who love it. I think the coolest thing about Hearthstone is that when it came out, it was out for like fucking everything, and your account continued on every device. So I remember
Yeah,
at the
like-
time I had an iPad. And then I had my MacBook, and I could like sit and play on my MacBook, or I could like open my iPad and continue playing. Like it was just
And that's become such a like big thing
totally
now,
100%.
just in gaming, right? And I guess I hadn't thought about that, but Hearthstone kind of was the first like big
Yeah.
release to do that.
Yeah,
So,
and I'd argue that's why it's so
That's a trend.
popular. But I think they're starting to lose a bunch of players to Magic Arena, because I think a lot of people who played Magic went to Hearthstone, and then now they're like, oh, now there's a digital version of the game I actually want to play, so I'm going over there. And Magic just announced their mobile app like a few months ago, like back in
Yeah.
Yes.
September.
You know
or
what's
August.
funny is I noticed that on their mobile app they used like they kind of aped the Blizzard style a little bit for their ads. Like
Interesting.
they presented it a little bit more cartoony. Like there's ads that show like Jace, and he's sort
Oh.
of like not in the game itself, but like the ads for the game.
So that's a different game. That's Spell Slingers, which
Oh.
is a dumbed down like version of Magic. It's not Magic. It's like if you took Magic cards and then made it function like Hearthstone. Because the reason why, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but the reason why they never made a mobile app originally is because Magic gets fucked. It gets fucked. Like if you see some of the play states on Magic Arena for the PC, like people have literally like 1 million plus life and like thousands of creatures and tokens in the battlefield. Like it's just stupid because infinite combos are a fucking thing in Arena, and they don't even have the entire card pool. Like it's just stupid. So they were like, how the fuck are we gonna implement that on mobile? Like that's gonna just fucking blow up someone's goddamn phone. So they made another app called Spell Slingers that no one really gave a shit about because it was just trying to like pander to the Hearthstone community. Because yeah, you're right, it's like more cartoony. Yeah, I saw those avatars. There was like Garruk and Liliana and Jace, and they all were kind of like Chibli looking, like kind of thing.
Yeah, they're kind of Blizzardified.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a
but
little bit.
yeah, and that's been out for like a little bit now. Like I want to say that's actually been out for maybe like a year or so. But now they just announced the actual mobile version of Arena, which is coming. We don't know when it's coming out, but they announced that they're doing it, and I can only assume that's going to work exactly like Hearthstone, where like you can play on your computer and then go to your mobile, and everything will be the same.
Yeah, just make an
which
account and it's the
is
same
going to
across
be
all
a
devices.
problem for me. Oh,
Yes.
it's going to be
Yeah.
so bad. It like literally,
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the bus to work, and that's all I'm going to be doing is playing Magic while going to work. Oh no. Oh no.
I had to stop bringing my Switch because I was getting so obsessed with Darkest Dungeon at one point. And I like had books that I was still buying books, being like, I'm gonna read these on the bus, and then I'd be like, I'd have my book and I'd have the Switch, and I'd be like, so close to finishing Darkest Dungeon now. Only 2 more hours to go. And so I'd put the book away and I'd open the game and I'd keep playing and I couldn't stop playing it. So
Amazing.
mobile gaming is just bad.
It's like I love the concept of the Switch, but I don't really bring it places because I game enough at home that I basically made a pact with myself a long time ago that I don't play mobile games on my phone either for like the same reason. Like
They're bad.
I play so many things. I mean, a lot of them are bad to begin with, but like I play so many things at home, and I want to have other interests. I don't want to just play video games as much as I love them. And I have an addictive personality, so if I have like some bullshit gotcha phone games that like if I had like Marvel Future Fight or like Marvel Contest of Champions or something on my phone, I would play it all of the time.
Yep.
And so I had to like, I had some of them for a while. I had like I think it's Contest of Champions. It's like the 2D fighter with like a bunch of Marvel characters and stuff. Like I had that game and I was just opening it up, like you said, like on the train or like going to work and whatever. And I was like, I cannot. So the Switch is kind of the same thing. The concept of the Switch is super cool. And I love being able to take games places, but then I don't really do it. Because I'm gonna go somewhere else. I have books I want to read, or I'll bring my sketchbook, or like I'll do something else.
For commute to work, I don't like doing it, but obviously going on trips, it's a fucking savior and a half.
Oh, yeah,
Like, it's
100%.
fucking amazing, right? But yeah, mobile games they're garbage. But this one is Magic, though, guys. This one is
It's
Magic,
fine.
the card game
It's
on my
not a-
phone. On my phone, I'm gonna play Magic on my phone.
Jesus.
Well, the next game on our list is not a game you would probably want to play on your phone or take with you. It's Divinity: Original Sin,
I'd play that on my phone.
the first one. You would?
Yeah, sure. It's like the games I don't like playing on my phone are games that actually like require me to be paying attention at all times. Divinity is one of those games
Right.
you, like look up, be like, oh, is this my stop? No. What were you talking about? All right, skip the text. Right, I read that.
Yeah, just skip.
Right, I read that.
He's got a point. He's got a point. He's got
It's
a
not
point.
like it's not like an action-heavy game. You can
Exactly. Which is
I don't
like
know if
the
you
games I
could
enjoy.
play an in-depth RPG like that though with the fucking UI. I think that's the biggest.
That's
thing,
kind of
is that
more what
you
I was
need-
getting at.
You
It's like
need
there's
the
so much-
monitor.
Yeah, there's so
You need
much
to see
on the
everything.
screen.
Yeah.
It's not like a streamlined thing. Haven't played it. It's always been one that's been like sitting in like the dark recesses of my mind. Like, man, I should play Divinity at some point. I don't know.
Sean, you and I should pick a night where we play through it.
Divinity? Well,
Yeah, because you and I,
why
you
don't we
were
just-
literally complaining about this the other night.
Why don't we fucking stream it?
That's where I'm getting at, Sean.
Okay. y'all are gonna stream Divinity.
Divinity 1 is only 2-player.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Divinity
Yeah,
2 is 4-player.
I don't
It
think
is.
I doubt my baby little laptop can run Divinity 2.
We'll get you.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll buy you a
Um,
tower.
We'll
Yeah,
figure
because
it
Sean and I
out.
already started a game in one, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes
Yeah.
in or some
Yeah,
shit.
we played one night,
Gotcha.
so we can do that.
Also, Larian just proven themselves to be great RPG developers, and they're making Baldur's Gate. Good for them.
I'm glad that like there's this kind of like it's like Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin, and then we got Baldur's Gate. Like it's just kind of like this like trifecta of great fucking RPG games, and I think
It's funny because once we kind of got into playing D&D like tabletop, I have less interest in playing like very like crunchy RPG games on the computer.
yeah.
Because obviously they're trying to build in a lot of the freedom and stuff, and Baldur's Gate looks like there's a lot of things you can do, but there will always be
A limitation.
bounds
Yeah.
just by the fact like the nature of they have to develop the game.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing tabletop D&D with your buddies, you can try for like the zaniest shit that like no one would ever think of, or like just do crazy stuff or whatever, right?
Is there a ceiling? There is now. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just-
like
the experience is so malleable and so easily adapted to the people and their ideas as they come.
it's like that collaboration, right? Like you can never collaborate with a developer in the same way you can like collaborate with a DM to like create the scenario.
No, never. And that's the beauty of tabletop role-playing games. That's why they're so immensely popular right now. Is people are looking for control, and here's a game with complete control over the experience.
Control and
No.
collaboration, which I think a lot of people
Exactly.
gravitate
Exactly.
to, you know. And on top of that, as someone who really likes action games and like interesting combat systems, one of the advantages that video games can offer is the ability to theoretically have real-time combat, but a lot of them want to mirror the tabletop thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
I know that some people really like that, but like for me personally, if you're trying to mirror the tabletop experience so closely that you're still doing like turn-based combat, for the most part, I'd rather just play a tabletop where I'm also hanging out with my buddies and like getting crazy, you know? And I can really role play the exact character I want in any scenario and try to do crazy things. But yeah, Larian, that was the beginning of their real rise to fame, which is pretty cool. Next game is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which I don't think any of us have played.
Nope.
Let me look up this
I'm
game.
assuming that's a thriller game.
It's like, I'm pretty sure it was like in like the walking simulator kind of
I think I played this
thing. Well, I mean, you forgot, so that's not a good sign.
No, I'm thinking of a different game. Yeah. Oh well.
Okay.
Sweet.
Lovey.
Yeah, I think that sort of genre has definitely become big since The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, but
Yeah.
the next one,
Uga, in response to our like tabletops versus the video game versions, he's like, I wish I could do the worm in every game, and only D&D can do that.
you're not wrong.
He's not wrong.
You're not wrong, Uga. You're not wrong at all. That is the beauty
Yeah.
of D&D. Of really any tabletop RPG. You can do that in Pathfinder. You can do that in...
Absolutely.
What's that one you always want us to play, Sean? The one...
Numenera.
Numenera. Yeah, thank you.
Ah.
I
Hi,
think
Lauren.
you're
Welcome
getting
back.
the book right now. Is that what's happening? Yeah, there's
Numenera.
Numenera.
It's backwards
That
on our
kept
screen,
games. I
unfortunately.
know. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
It's very good. Play it.
And then the next one on the list is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh God.
Yeah, Jack and Sean play this game. Yeah, and I plan to play it. I really want to play the Dragon Age
I-
games.
I just bought it like a couple weeks ago because it was on sale for like $12.
Yeah, it's a
Mm.
$12 game. It's
Yeah.
it's a $5 to $12 game. Buy it if it's that cheap.
So one day maybe I'll play it.
Like the thing is, when I was playing it, I was inside. My whole head was like engulfed by Dragon Age because I just played 1 and 2, and then I was just like, well, I'm just gonna play the third one now because I've started this and I have to finish it. So I fucking did it, and I picked the worst class to play.
Yeah.
I picked two-handed fighter
Why?
as my dude. Well, because I didn't know what the mechanics were going to be like. This was
Fair.
completely different compared to all the other games. Like, you have to taunt in this fucking game?
Yeah.
Like, you need to taunt because it gives everybody armor, and that's the only way to survive, and then you need mages to heal. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's just like, holy shit. Hey, do you want to be 4 people at once? No? Well, too bad, because that's what the game's asking of you.
Ugh.
Doesn't this
yeah.
one have co-op too? Like some kind of co-op system?
No, it has
No, it
pause
does not have that.
functionality, so you can like pause and choose everybody's thing, which I had to often do during difficult fights. And through every other fight, I could just turn my brain off and throw it out of my head and switch to the mage because they're the only person you should
Dude.
play.
Yep. what was her name again? I keep on forgetting.
Which
Shit.
mage?
The oh my God.
Kelly, you should get a refund.
Solus? The elf mage?
Maybe.
Or the lady from
It's the lady. I can't remember her name.
Is
Yeah,
it
for me-
Morrigan? Does Morrigan come back?
maybe depending on your actions and your save crossover, I think.
Okay, no. Sorry, I just looked it up. But there is Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer. There's a 4-player co-op mode.
Oh,
It's essentially
yes.
dungeon crawl. Okay,
Yes,
that's what I was
Add it
thinking.
down.
I didn't
Yes.
necessarily think that like the campaign was co-op, but I thought there was like a co-op.
That mode is so forgettable. I just forgot about it. So
Yikes!
I didn't
Well,
even play it, so.
That's a yikes from me, dog.
It's so boring.
It's
it's not. It's not important. It had really bad net coding, if I remember correctly. It also just really had
Net
bad
code, I'm
everything.
in.
well,
yeah.
BioWare was only gonna have worse releases in the coming years, Sean.
Oh
True.
no! No! No!
Anthem
No!
was-
No!
Mass Effect Andromeda was.
Let's continue.
The next game on our list is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Oh yeah, very good, very good video game.
More games I gotta
Yeah.
play.
very good
Yeah,
video game.
that's another one. Again, it's like it's always been just on the cusp of my list, but like if a new action game comes out, it's gonna beat out a first-person shooter
I
every
should be
time.
writing
even if
this
I'm
shit
interested
down.
Even if I'm interested in the
Yeah.
premise of the shooter.
Nazis.
Shooting Nazis is never not fun.
I
Exactly.
don't disagree
That's
with
it.
that. I
That's
just
it.
think that webbing up thugs is always more fun.
I don't know. Something about shooting a Nazi and then being like fucking Nazis
Dude,
is
the,
so
the animations for when you like assassinate them were so good.
yeah, it's good. It's good shit.
Well, yeah.
And it kind of spawned a new Wolfenstein franchise. Like it kept going, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
South Park: The Stick of Truth.
It's on
Was
my
that the
list.
RPG?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never played it, but I'm sure it was funny and very, very fun.
Yeah. It was South Park, I'm sure.
Then there's a game called Never Alone.
Well,
That's a lie.
they're
oh,
all
that's
number
terrifying.
one, So
All right, but here we go. This is some good stuff. Dark Souls 2. I think I'm the only one who's played 2.
I played the beginning and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Um,
1, 3.
So 2 is kind of. Did you play Dark Souls 1? Sure.
Not a lot of it, but I played it.
Okay, you have dabbled though.
Turned it on. I got to the bad place that everybody hates. Undead
The Undead Burg.
Berg, I think. Maybe beyond that. I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Was this before or after playing Bloodborne?
After playing, no, well, before playing Bloodborne, I started Dark Souls and then I stopped because I was like, this game is hard. Then I played Bloodborne and I played for 3 months and I couldn't beat it. And then I took a 9-month break, and then one day I was like, I want to play Bloodborne again, and then I didn't stop until I beat the game not once but twice.
And as everybody knows, that is similar to my experience with Dark Souls 1,
Yep.
where I played it for like 3 weeks, and I was like really trying to play. And this was after like Dark Souls 2 was already out. I think Bloodborne might have been announced. I'm not sure. But I was like, everybody keeps talking about this. It's a fantasy game. That's like my shit. I gotta try it. And I played it, and I was like, this game is bad. It's poorly designed. The people who like it are stupid. Who made this are fucking idiots. This game sucks. And then I took like, it was probably like a 3-week break or something, and it was just sitting on my shelf, and I was like, people talk about this game a lot. Like I must have missed something. There's got to be something here. And I went back in with like a new build and stuff and tried it differently, and I was like, oh my god, this game's so fucking good. And I haven't regretted playing a From Software game since. But Dark Souls 2, which again I played later, like much later, it was already out. I think I played the Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is like a remixed
Like
version where like enemy placements are different and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the black sheep of the Dark Souls series. It wasn't directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki, and so there's some like core, like on the surface you're like, yeah, it's a Dark Souls game, it plays the same as a Dark Souls game, but there's like some core design elements in terms of like how health works and how like level design works and stuff that are just very different from Miyazaki's work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of polarizing. People are either like, it's the best game, or people are like, it's the worst game. It's like one of those. But I quite enjoyed it. I just want to play anything sort of in that franchise just because I'm interested in that kind of game design, even if, again, like I said, there's some very big differences between it and some of its peers.
I'm assuming like the art team and stuff was probably the same people, right? So it's like, it's still like a beautiful looking fucking game.
Yeah, it looks similar. It's funny. I don't know. There's like, it's obviously it's from the same developer, so I'm sure there's some shared people there, but there's definitely like an art direction in
That's
Dark
different.
Souls 2
I did
that's
notice
different.
that for sure. Yeah.
It's not like harshly different. Like you can totally see that it's a Dark Souls game, but there's just some stuff in it that feels different in terms of how they present the worlds, and like how even like some character model stuff, like armor sets that like don't really return in Dark Souls 3 and like feel kind of, they're very uniquely Dark Souls 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it definitely has its own character. If you're a big fan of the franchise, worth playing, but definitely a bit of a different experience.
Fair enough.
But From
Jack
Software
and
needs to
Kelly, Deminger says hi.
what's up?
Deminger says hi.
Deminger says hi.
Yeah.
Deminger?
Yeah. Yeah. Georgia is watching our podcast while in English class.
That is
That's okay.
amazing. I feel like you should probably be paying attention.
Nah.
Well, okay, really, really quick. Their school system is weird because of COVID. So they have a
Makes
quarter
sense.
system right now. So every quarter they switch classes, and every quarter they only have 2 classes, and those classes are like 2.5 hours long.
Mhm.
So it's like they have a full day of school, but it's only 2 classes, and so a lot of that class I think is just kind of like work and studying and stuff. Like there's not as much lecture in compared to like what your other class, like percentage wise. So I'm assuming she's just kind of sitting there like doing her homework and like listening to us or something. I don't know.
No, I know how it's all going because
Yeah.
my brother still goes to that school.
Oh yeah.
Oh
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a work period today. We're just working on our projects. There you go.
Cool. All right.
Sweet. Hi, English 12 of 20. What year is it? 20?
What year is it? Wait.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Okay.
Next game is Far Cry 4. Sean, thoughts?
It's the same as Far Cry 3, but now mountains. I don't know. Like my thing about the Far Cry, I was actually talking to Brandon. I was actually talking to Brandon about this a few days ago. We were talking about the Far Cry series and how many Far Cry games there are. There's like 8 out.
A lot of games.
Yeah. So like when I was first introduced to the Far Cry series, this was like a long time ago, back in 2009, I want to say.
Like Far Cry 2.
No, Far Cry 1. The
Oh, Far
original
Cry 1.
We back in the day.
Far Cry 1 was like an 80s action where your guy was Jack Carter, I think, and there was like cutscenes that showed him, and he was like walking around, be like, "What the fuck is going on in this island?" And you were like, all of a sudden there was like paranormal shit, and there was like this pseudo like genetic research going on, and you got animal powers. You got
I did not
turned
know
into
any of
like
that.
a
That's
super
crazy.
mutant. Yeah, dude. Okay, so Far Cry
is a trip,
Primal
man.
was like the Xbox exclusive next one of that game, like the sequel to that game. And Far Cry Primal, you got like animal powers, and there's like a map editor, and you basically made these weird hide and go seek maps where it was fucking stupid. Like, so as the like primal version, you could like jump 30 feet and then claw people with your bare arms. You could like see infrared, and you had wall hacks and stuff. Like it was really fun. And then Far Cry 2 was like grounded, and then Far Cry 3 obviously reinvented their genre, which is the formula they've stuck with since. And then Far Cry 4 just feels bland to me. Like I'm sure there are people who got way more into it and then felt like it was going somewhere. But I like played like the first 40 minutes, and I was like, it's just a worse Far Cry 3 then.
Sorry, I just want to check. Far Cry Primal came out in 2016. That's like the prehistoric one.
Oh, Far Cry Primal. What am I thinking? Far Cry Instincts. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I just wanted to. But Far Cry's done that before, like a lot of time, right? Because there's also like Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
They do these like weird offshoot games that are like a kind of a different spin.
Instincts was within the context of the first game was the same mechanic, because the Far Cry
Oh, it
1
was
ends with him getting that like the serum,
Gotcha.
and the next games are him with that serum.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they're not as weird or as offshooted as Blood Dragon, because Blood Dragon's fucking bonkers.
Didn't the first Far Cry also have like more survival stuff? Like, couldn't you like get malaria if you didn't like take malaria medication or
Far
something?
Cry 2 started this. So Far Cry 2
2,
had
okay.
this weird turn to a hardcore first-person shooter where you were in Africa and you were kind of a nameless soldier, doing, I think, hits for an arms dealer or something. I don't remember the story too well. But yeah, you got malaria, and this guy was basically blackmailing you to do these jobs for your malaria medication. And you were slowly dying if you didn't take these tablets, which you only had a few. And then if you didn't buy guns, they would break down. Like the guns that you like found in the wild would essentially jam. So you'd be in a firefight having to unjam your gun. Your cars would break down. Like it was like really wild, and you had to pay attention to a lot of like the details of the game, which a lot of people still say to this day Far Cry 2 is the best Far Cry game ever made. And the fact that they detracted from this formula to make it like an easier game to play is what ultimately killed it for them.
Well, Far Cry is kind of like the stereotypical like the or Ubisoft game in that it started off with like a very unique kind of identity, and it kept diluting elements of its design to be more and more like generic and broad appeal, to the point where there's like stuff that's like in Assassin's Creed and Far Cry that's like the same.
We could have the whole fucking podcast on that.
Yeah, and it's just it's kind of sad because then like sure you might get like more people, but the people who like really liked that specific kind of design get like disillusioned with the franchise, and it like, kind of loses its identity, right? Which
Diluting it, diluting
yeah.
it so it's more acceptable by the masses, and it's no longer unique anymore.
Yeah, like
it's just like another one.
It had like the thing about like the original Far Cry's is it had great like AI stealth mechanics. Like the thing is about the bushes, they broke line of sight, so there was actually a point to use terrain. And then now later in Far Cry 3, it's just like it's the same kind of stuff. Like all those mechanics are still kind of there, but now they're kind of widely adopted by everyone. That uniqueness is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then Far Cry 2 had some like genuinely good uniqueness with like dynamic fire, and all these other systems like dynamic weather that actually played a part in the world and made the world feel real. And it was this grounded experience. And then
like
now
those are things that they could have pushed more.
Exactly. And then that this sort of dynamic fire and all these systems they had going on widely became adopted by a lot of different games. So that uniqueness was sort of lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did the pioneering, they did the work to do that kind of stuff. And then other games just like widely adopted it to be like, well, it works and it looks good and it's not that hard, so let's do it.
Yeah.
So then you're like, well, is it really that unique now?
And then they kind of stopped pioneering too, and like pushing things.
Yeah. And then they just stay the same. So it's not really anything interesting about their games. So you're like, okay, it's Far Cry. So then you get to Far Cry 4.
More.
Yeah. So then that's why I'm like, Far Cry 4 is just if you like Far Cry 3 a lot, then play Far Cry 4 because it's the same game.
Mm-hmm.
What year are we in right now?
2014.
Okay, and we're at 12:45. I have to go in 45 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna go here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut Sean off, but he just keeps going.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. Next one is Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U.
Good game.
Good game. We probably played that one the most, I think.
Played the hell out of that game. That was the first one where I started to get like kind of into the competitive scene, not because I wanted to, but because I had to keep up with Sean Ruled. To be able to even fucking play the game.
Very, very fun. Very good game. But like, to be honest, that was the game that we were probably the most balanced in that game for the longest period of time. Like we went probably 1-to-1 on most evenings.
Yeah, well, that was also like we were playing it a roughly equal amount more for that one.
That is true. I have since also stopped playing Smash.
But that was like the first time, like that was when they released like the GameCube adapter and like all that kind of stuff, and like we were going ham. We played that game. We were also living together, so
we were all collecting amiibos and
yeah.
Fucking, I had it on my 3DS, so that was fucking weird and fun.
Yeah,
and
I have it on my 2DS. I totally forgot about that. Holy crap.
Yeah. That was fucking dope. I remember playing Smash Bros at the gym, and I was like, this is a whole new world.
Well, I remember playing Smash Bros in rehearsal when you were like, we'd have these long periods not being.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, we did it for Bed Full of Foreigners when it was like it was a Benny day pretty much, and you and I would just be sitting there going, do 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 do. It was great.
Ridiculous. The next one is This War of Mine.
That a sort of survival management game?
I think so.
Oh, I think I remember.
Yeah.
Trying to like
Never
survive
played it.
until the next day and stuff. Never played it. Next one is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Hell yeah, dude.
The first Middle Earth Shadow game.
It's good.
Killing orcs.
Killing Orcs introduced, kind of generic open world action RPG kind of thing, but introduced the Nemesis system, which people still talk about as being fucking cool.
I think for me that game, I never finished that game because I find that it didn't have enough to hook me, because it just felt like a clone copy of so many other games I'd played already. Like I'd argue the Nemesis system was like the only thing that was really unique about that game. Other than that, it just had a very like Assassin's Creed, like
It was Assassin's Creed Batman, but with the Lord of the Rings skin.
Yeah, exactly. Which was sad because I was like, I want a fucking sick Lord of the Rings game. Why would I not ever want a sick Lord of the Rings game? But I just like that's another game I'm gonna write it down actually. That's another game I do want to go back and play, but it didn't. I played it and it just didn't grab me, and I'm sad that it didn't.
Yeah, I ate that shit up. It's fucking great. I played it like years later, but it was fucking great. Forza Horizon 2.
Not big into the racing games.
I think Jack's the only one that owns that one. I never got. It's downstairs. I can't tell you. I probably loved it if I played it. I love racing games.
Car games.
I feel like they can do some neat things here and there and add some like really unique bells and whistles, but like the important thing is like the core of the driving, and like if it's good, it's a good game.
It's a simulation. Yeah. And then sometimes, well, actually, the Horizon one's kind of funny because the Horizon one is more about the culture and kind of like what you can do in a driving sim, when the regular just Forza Motorsport series is just the simulator. So in the first Forza Horizon, it's like a big like racing festival out in like the desert. Somewhere in the States, like in Utah or something like that. And so you have like this kind of like open world area to like drive around, and it's like all these like kind of like parties and like weird drift events and like all this like cool stuff. Like I remember there was a mode where you had to like race a plane. Like you had to like drive from one end of the track to the next before the plane got there, and the plane had a route or whatever. It was really, really fun. And so they're kind of like a more like world story based driving sim game, and they're a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, yeah, they're just a great driving sim. And it was good.
Sick. Alien Isolation.
Still need to play it.
Yeah,
I just bought it.
We bought this for like $2 thinking it was multiplayer, and it's like
Yeah.
a single player game. But apparently the AI for the alien is like does a really good job of convincing you that it's like actually trying to hunt you.
Yeah, I've been watching someone streaming recently named Warwick. He was actually someone we were going to be playing on Halloween with, and he unfortunately had to back out last minute.
No,
but he's been streaming. He was in the chat earlier, yeah. He's been streaming Alien Isolation, and it actually looks so fun. It looks terrifying, but it looks so fun. Yeah.
Next game on our list is Destiny.
God, played the shit.
Played a lot of it.
I love.
All I remember is I remember me, Jack, and Brandon being super hyped from the first trailer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought it was gonna be third person, and I thought like making your character was gonna be like a way bigger thing, and like I just thought the game was gonna be kind of more like interesting with the world than it was.
I agree on all those things.
Destiny's grown a lot since, yeah.
It is, yeah.
For sure, it's like a very different thing now. But
it's a different
being
animal.
super underwhelmed, and then obviously it was like, oh, it's gonna be for 10 years. You're gonna be playing this game, which obviously didn't happen. And
I don't think that's really Bungie's fault. That was Activision really pushing that, because now they're doing Bungie. Well, now they're doing Bungie 2, Halo 2, or
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. Now they're doing Destiny 2
free of Activision's clutches.
And everybody assumed that Destiny 3 was going to be announced. But they just committed to 4 more years of Destiny 2 by labeling the DLCs they're going to be doing for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people are like, it's highly unlikely that they'll make Destiny 3.
Yeah.
Which is fair, but it definitely Destiny. I will always loathe Destiny for creating the big boom in games as a service as a concept, because I think it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to be disappointed about in Destiny, and honestly, I'm over my little honeymoon phase with Destiny 2 now, and I'm like, there's a lot of bad things about it.
You played it for a while, and then you were like, it's really not that good. And then Avengers came out, and you're like, I want to play this, but better. And then you went back to Destiny, and now you're you go through these waves.
Yeah, I'm like, like, have I had a lot of fun for $40? Absolutely. Have I equally had just as many frustrating times? Yes.
All right. Sean, I know that you could talk about Destiny forever, but I want to try to get through some of these lists.
No, I'm not. I'm done. That's it.
It's frustrating. There we go. Next one is Bayonetta 2. I really want to play the Bayonetta franchise because I love action games. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Bayonetta freaks me out. I'm never playing it.
That's fair. She summons demons trapped in her hair from other
hair.
dimensions.
Hair demons. I hate it. No, thank you.
And
Amazing.
then number 1 for the Guardians list of top games of 2014 is Mario Kart 8, a game that continues to this day to sell very well.
Yeah, because they just re-released it for the Switch
Not the right time.
Yep. And
as
they
the
just-
as
it
Mario
just
Kart
keeps
8
going.
Deluxe or whatever. And yeah, it's a blast. We get frustrated when we play Mario Kart, but when I'm feeling like playing Mario Kart, that's the game I put on.
Mario Kart.
It's the only
Yeah.
game that does what Mario Kart does that you want it to do.
Yeah,
Like friendships.
yeah.
I love Mario Kart. It will always have a special place in my heart. It's always my family's go-to game.
I like
Yeah.
playing it with my siblings because it's like the only game that we play competitively that they can actually beat me.
Yeah, that the competition is almost equal.
Yeah.
I
John's
also I
it's-
also
It's one-sided in their favor.
I also think there's something to
That's
say
good.
about the simplicity of a lot of Nintendo's games, but specifically Mario Kart, is that whenever I have people over who aren't gamers, I go,
Yeah.
"Hey, you want to play Mario Kart?" Right? And it's always like, "Oh yeah, like I love Mario." Like it's super easy just to go,
I think
"Yeah,
Mario
like I
Kart
can
and Smash.
press go." Yeah, exactly.
Like someone's willing
Yeah.
to play either one of those games, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And then
Lot
they
to be
play
said for
2 rounds of Smash, and then they never want to play it again.
Because you
Yeah.
wipe the fucking
Because
floor with
you
them.
wipe the floor with them. Then we got for 2015. We're moving into 2015. We got Soma.
I don't know what that is.
That's the
Don't know
horror
what that
game,
is.
right? Yeah.
Is a horror game. All right. We got another horror game. We got Until Dawn.
Heard a lot of good things.
Genuinely okay.
People play that.
There is a fun way to play this game as like a party game, and I think
Mhm.
we should do it on stream one night.
Yeah, where everybody
Should've-
like sort of makes the decisions for a particular character, right?
Exactly. So like Brandon streams it, and then we just like watch his screen essentially.
Yeah.
And go, hey, like fucking make blank do blank.
Yeah.
And then
Because I
try
think
and
we
get-
all owned it on PlayStation because I think it was free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a PS4 game.
I highly think we should do that. There's actually that functionality exists in the next game they released. But you
Yes.
hook up your mobile. and
That
you
was
just- you-
Man of
That's
Medan,
cool.
I believe.
I don't remember which game.
I
it
don't
is,
know.
but I know that
'Cause
you
it's-
can do that.
That's cool.
They call it. It's called like the Dark Pictures Anthology, I think, and it's Until Dawn, and then Man of Medan, and they just announced, or their new one just came out. Little Hope, it's called. Anyway, next game is Lego Dimensions. Sure.
It was
I
what
don't
was
remember.
it? Toys to like it was a fucking
Oh yeah, that was a Toys to Life game.
Toys to Life game and it's dead now.
All Toys to Life games die in the end.
Mushroom 11. No idea.
11?
It's called Mushroom 11. Apparently,
I-
the thing here says that it was born in a game jam, so it's like a weird kind of little thing that somebody. put
Okay,
together.
all right.
I don't know if you guys know about game jams, but they're fucking sick.
Oh, Mark Brown's Game Jam.
Yeah, well, he's not the only one who does them, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
game
But I
jams.
know-
Basically, it's like you'll have like 24 hours or 48 hours or a week or whatever to like make a little indie game,
Fun.
and like
okay,
a bunch
cool.
of people are doing it, and usually like someone will host it, like Mark Brown does it, and then he'll like pick the top ones or whatever. But it's just like a weird like little creative
That's
thing
fun.
for like indie developers and stuff.
Cool.
They're fucking dope. Ori and the Blind Forest.
Very good, very good, very good.
Never played it, want to play
Play
it.
it on my Switch because now it's
Yeah,
on
I haven't played
Switch.
it either.
Yeah, they're like honestly one of the easiest Metroidvanias to pick up, play, and figure out. There's not so much backtracking that you're like, I have no idea where to go. There's enough like friendly guides. It's very user friendly.
Look at the Xbox just turned on.
Cute as fuck.
Okay,
10
I don't
out
know
of 10.
why.
Highly recommend.
that's
Uh,
terrifying.
And then there was
I
just so you guys know, the one of the PS Plus games right now is Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition. So you can get Hollow Knight for free. It is installed. I will be playing
Ooh,
it soon.
nice.
I'm very excited.
I
to play
have it
Hollow
on the
Knight.
PC, and I will also be playing it very soon if that's a thing we're all going to be doing.
I'm doing it.
yeah.
I wanna play it. I've been wanting to play it for years, and it's again just under the bar for things, but now it's free and I have no excuse. Next game is Galax Z.
I don't know what that is.
Brain.
We
That's a
have it
game.
on the PS4. Yeah, we got it for free one time.
Oh, cool.
Lore.
Yeah, we
You did?
own it. Yeah, I
Um,
definitely have it in my library.
Next
Oh,
game
you-
is N++.
Oh.
Do you guys remember Endgame on? It was like on like Mo Fun Zone or Newgrounds or something.
Oh yeah.
And you're like this little like ninja, like stick figure ninja guy, and you have to climb walls and collect
Maybe.
like little little gold squares. It's called like N plus the game or N game or something like that. They released.
I can see
N++.
the title, but that's it.
Yeah, they released N++ for the PS4.
You know what makes me really happy about? Oh yes, I do know this. You know what makes me really happy about all these fucking like Flash games that have since found like
places
homes
on consoles?
platforms. Like
Yeah.
it just goes to show that these games, like these old Flash games, definitely had merit. And there's
Like they had good design.
yeah, they had good like mechanic. Like sure, they were clunky and they weren't perfect, but like they functioned and were genuinely interesting and had good mechanics. And then I'm just happy to see them get like polished and released and then paid for their work now.
Yeah, like that 20-year-old guy
yeah.
like 10 plus years ago who like made that game out of boredom because he was in college is now selling that title and like doing sequels on the fucking PlayStation or like something weird. Yeah,
Exactly. Or like those guys who made Super Meat Boy, like that's a love letter to like obviously the Super Mario and all that, but also out of those Flash games too.
Oh,
Those,
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
very simple,
Yeah.
like here's our thing, but it, like I don't know
Very
if you
very
guys-
Newgrounds art style.
Exactly. Like I don't know if you guys watched the documentary about those guys who made it, but it's a good documentary. Like
Cool.
if you're interested
Sweet.
in this sort of like history of them designing that game and like this sort of personal struggles they were going through. It's a good game.
But no, that is cool. I'd actually love to just do a whole podcast where we talk about Flash games we remember and stuff. That'd be dope. Next game is Tales from the Borderlands.
I played.
That's
the
the
first
It's the Telltale
Telltale
Borderlands game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
never played
I
it.
remember actually genuinely finding it funny, like laughing at the jokes. Like they landed. The voice acting was good. It's the guy who does. He's in like fucking everything. He does Cyril in Archer. He does.
Oh,
He's you know, Jake's girlfriend's boss in an episode, the one who does cocaine, and then Jake in Brooklyn Nine-Nine has to like arrest him.
Wait.
yes.
Yeah, do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
It's like in the second season when he's dating the lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer, right? Okay.
Yes.
It's that guy who does the voice of the main character, and then Anthony
Interesting.
Jack is back as
Interesting.
Jack and all.
Wait, he's the guy who he plays Jake's like ex-partner.
No.
The,
Here,
the,
I'll-
the
I'll-
lawyer
I'll-
girlfriend, the boyfriend, or the boss of the lawyer girlfriend.
I don't remember him. We're getting off topic. Next game is Invisible Ink.
Chris Parnell.
Isometric grid-based stealth game.
Name is Chris Parnell.
Gotcha. Nobody Invisible Ink? All right.
Nope.
Super
Oh,
Mario
Invisible
Maker.
Ink. Yes, I played it. It was good.
Cool.
Super Mario Maker. Never
Super
played.
Mario Maker. Dope concept. I want more games like it.
Yeah, who was that? I'm totally blanking on that YouTuber we used to watch that used to make us fucking laugh our asses off. And he used to play Super Mario Maker. He was like this like kind of like chubby like dark-skinned guy. I can't remember what the hell his name was. I used to play his videos on the TV all the time when we were living together, and he always used to scream really loud and shit. I can't remember.
Did he play a Dark Souls 3 one time?
I think yeah.
He drinks like a lot of energy drinks.
Yes. Okay, you're starting to remember.
Shifty
fuck.
or Swifty, I think.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Like I used to watch his Mario Maker videos, and they were so funny, so funny.
Is it Donkey?
No, it's not Donkey. No, Donkey is white.
I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, are you?
Next game on the list. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Nope.
Another.
Fucking get out of here, nerds. His name is Dashi. Dashi Games.
Dashy. Okay.
I do not remember this guy at all.
I remember
But
this guy either.
shout out to Dashy, apparently. But no, everybody's gone to the Rapture. We'll move on. Beginner's Guide. No one's played that. Moving on.
Nope.
Life is Strange. Anybody played it?
No, I have not,
No,
but I've
I have
heard
not
good
played
things
that.
about it
Moving
though,
on.
because they're still
Heard very good.
making content, right?
They're
Yeah.
very good. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a new one.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of them.
Life is Strange too.
Uh,
Yeah.
The next game on our list is Grow Home.
I love that game.
Oh my god.
That game was genuinely so fun. What a great game.
That game's really good.
Evenings we would just watch Sean play it. It was great.
Mhm. I think Grow Home is a very, very good sort of masterclass in the design of like having a really good idea for like one core mechanic and then building around that and then only adding other mechanics that help accentuate your core mechanic.
Yeah,
Right, like the
just
mechanic
going
is you
home
can
on
climb
it. Yeah.
stuff by using your individual hands. That's the basic premise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, how do we build a world that facilitates that? And then obviously the gliding and the little moats of land and stuff is all built to give you a reason to climb more, to go up and then glide down and then climb up and then glide down. And like it's very simple, but it does a lot with very little.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very cute.
And it's just cute.
God, I love that game so much.
Next game, no spoilers, is Undertale.
Really, I gotta write that one down.
I'm like, I know the Undertale music better because of Smash, and I want to play it. It's been on my list for so long.
Yeah.
Undertale,
What's stopping you from just playing
apparently
it?
amazing. All the other games that I want to play, Sean. That's
So
what's
many
stopping
things.
me.
Jakey
So
Boy
if some-
Arts and Warwick are currently doing playthroughs on their stream, and I saw that and I was like, shit, I gotta play Undertale because it looks fucking fun, so fun.
Next game on our list is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Nobody's played the Xenoblade series. Moving on.
Nope.
Destiny
really feeding
Taken
it.
King, which we've already talked about Destiny, so
Yeah,
it expands, it adds more stuff.
Hey, Kelly,
All
do you
right,
have
it's just
Steam
DLC.
open?
Yeah.
Steam open
Oh,
right now?
you
No,
can
I don't have it right now.
You should just open it.
I will do that when we're done here. Rocket League.
So good.
Hell
Good.
yes.
That is a game that we still occasionally play.
It's just so
2015.
fun.
It's
It's
so
so
Sean,
fun.
Did you send me
But
Undertale?
we're so bad.
Yes. Now you have no reason not to play it,
Thank you, but also
Just-
fuck you.
just like me.
But yeah, Rocket League again, very simple concept that is polished to a very, very fine shine.
So fucking good.
It's amazing.
It's one of those games where it's so easy to get into and just like have fun with, again, like just like people who don't play video games, but then it has a skill ceiling that is insane, and like the competitive side of it is just nuts and so fun to watch, and it's so fun to like try and like, I'm still in the midst of trying to like get those really nice like aerials where you launch yourself and hit the like, oh, it's just great. It's just
Oh
so
my
fun.
God. Like, just listening to Josh tell me about the tech in that game is fucking stupid because
Of
like,
course.
well, okay, so if your four wheels hit the ball, you reset your jumps, right? So you can basically rotate around the ball like this and continue momentum while juggling the ball in the air and jumping consistently.
Yeah.
So if you do it right and know how to do it, you can fly with the ball, never stopping, and then score.
And the interesting thing about that, right, is that that's not even something that the developers made
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. It's just about like exploiting the physics system.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's always really cool. Like Breath of the Wild does a lot of stuff like that, where it's not like necessarily something the developers intentionally thought of, but they just made all these like interacting physics elements. They call it their
Yeah.
chemistry system, I think.
Yeah.
It's really cool. All right, we're gonna try to rapid fire 2015 here. All right.
Okay.
So the next game is Her Story. I don't know if you guys have played it. I just want to mention, I want to shout this one out in particular because it's really cool. It's like a live action thing, and basically it plays clips of like interviews. You're trying to solve, I think, a murder. And
Yeah.
every time you like watch a video clip, you have to type in keywords from that video that you saw into like a search engine that will bring up more video clips.
Right.
So you have to like determine which things, like more interviews. You have to determine which things from that interview stood out to you to like
Yep.
try to pick it apart and like find the video entries to ultimately
That's so
unravel this
fun.
mystery.
That sounds a lot of
I
fun.
do remember that. Yeah.
I think that's just super cool. Wanted to shout it out. Next game is Splatoon. I love it. You guys haven't played it. It's so good. It's so good. Play it. All right,
Okay,
our top
all right.
5 games for 2015. Fallout 4,
Eh.
Never
How the
played it.
Mighty Have Fallen. The next one, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate for the 3DS. Whatever. Next one,
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5,
Phantom Pain, right?
Phantom Pain.
And pain.
Hideo Kojima's last game with Konami before all that shit happened.
Sean's camera froze.
Sure did. I like looked and I was like, why didn't it do it?
That's amazing. Next game. Oh, what's up, Brandon?
No, it's just because I didn't know if Sean had like a brief thought on Phantom Pain because he played it.
No,
but...
no. Just hi.
Next game, and I'll let us have a couple minutes for these next two. Their number 2 game is The Witcher 3.
Fuck yes. Oh my god, yes. Yes.
So
Trying to beat.
I haven't beat it, and it's still my favorite fucking game ever. And to be fair, there are moments in that game that are very clunky and stuff, but its world is just amazing. It's just CG Project Red. What are you just? You're doing such a good job.
Well,
and
the thing is,
it's just
sorry,
great.
Brandon, I thought you were done.
No, it's just great. It's fucking great.
The thing about Witcher in particular is that, you know, a lot of open world games feature side quests and things to do that aren't part of like your main adventure and your main story. But CD Projekt Red chose to spend a lot of time on those side quests too. So some of them are really like long, drawn out stories that have a lot of elements and a lot of interesting characters.
Yeah.
And even the short ones that are just like go here and do a thing, they make the scenario around it and the writing and like the context so interesting that even though you're essentially just like going to a place and killing some stuff, they put in like effort around it so it feels like it's like a more impactful story, and it feels like it's something you haven't done before, even if mechanically you have, because obviously you're repeating mechanics in a video game. That's how video games work. But when the focus of an RPG and stuff is like the story, bringing that focus on narrative into the side quests is, I think, a very large part of The Witcher's success.
Yeah, that's something that CD Projekt Red, I think, is doing to change that kind of RPG open world game mechanic, right? Because like, how many fucking open world games do I not give a single shit playing because it's just fucking filled with these bullshit repetitive side quests that are just,
it's just busy work,
garbage. It's just busy work. When in The Witcher, and what I'm very stoked for about Cyberpunk is that they put as much, if not more, care into their side quests and their world than like the main story. And I just think that's perfect because as soon as you start doing the weird repetitive side quests, that's when the immersion gets broken, right? It's like, oh, that's weird. I'm like catching this person's like pet cat again. Like, why the fuck is that? Like, why are so many people losing their fucking cat? This is fucking weird, right?
But Witcher uses the side quest to help your immersion.
Exactly. Yeah. Where it goes, yeah, this woman doesn't know where her son is. This is the last place they saw her. Here's the directions, and this is like what they thought happened. And then you go and you investigate and you fucking figure, like, it's just, and that's different every single time you do a side quest.
And I think another big thing is that it takes into account like who the Witcher, like who Geralt is in the universe and like what his sort of role in society is. So most of those side quests, like you say, they're people who either know somebody was attacked by a monster, they were attacked by a monster, they suspect somebody was attacked by a monster, they saw a monster in the distance, someone's gone missing and it could be a monster. And then sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, which means that like you're never quite confident that like, oh yeah, it's the same thing, I go kill the monster. Sometimes you like find out it's two people who ran away and they pretended there was a monster attack to escape, or like someone who's brutally murdering people and they're just a person, or it was a monster but the monster's a cool dude and someone else is blaming them. Like, there's all these fun twists on it.
I was gonna say I love it because like, yeah, there's those ones where like someone's like, it was a monster, and then like it wasn't, or they ran away or whatever. But then there's the ones where like Geralt, like someone goes like, oh, I'm pretty sure like my ex-wife like took our son or whatever, and Geralt's like, I'm pretty sure that's a fucking monster, but he doesn't know, so I'm just gonna, I heard him talking about it, so I'm just gonna go, hey, you need some help? Oh, I don't need you, you're a Witcher. Like, but if I bring your son back, will you pay me?
How much we talking?
Yeah. But I think, and then also like Witcher 3 is so good that like I think it's really interesting because obviously CD Projekt Red has been doing the Witcher games since the first one, and the first two aren't really popular. A lot of people don't even know them, let alone played them. I briefly played the second one because it was free on the 360 for us.
I made myself finish the second one. It was not worth it.
Yeah. And I love how much The Witcher 3 has just like blown up the world of The Witcher, and now there's the fucking show, and the books are getting reprinted all the fucking time now, and I'm pretty sure CD Projekt Red already confirmed they're doing another Witcher game, and like it's just amazing, and I love it, and I love how everyone loves it, and like it's one of my favorite things ever, just ever.
The concept of The Witcher's like is so fun for me as someone who loves superheroes, because I'm like, they're just fantasy mutants, like they're fantasy X-Men.
Yeah.
And like I'm so fucking into it so hard.
Yeah.
I just love the world building of The Witcher and how they choose to use like Geralt to be a social pariah and then use that to like further his sort of like character every single time. He's like I know I'm a pariah, but dude, I'm fucking like 95 years old. I don't care. Your prejudice doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, like I'm fucking over it. I've like fought the most horrifying monstrosities in the world. Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, dude, he's
And
like
his cast of like friends and acquaintances is really fun too.
Very colorful.
Like every time you
Yeah.
meet like a new person that Geralt has like all this history with, because it's like a sequel to the book, so he's like already met all these people and had all these adventures with them, and you're just like, you can almost feel like you're playing one person from a D&D party after the party completed their adventure and they like disbanded.
Mhm.
And then he like rolls up and it's like, oh, remember when we went on all these adventures? And you're like, dude, these guys are so much fun. Oh my god.
That is
Yeah.
the very unique thing about how the games take place way after like the stories, like the books that were written by
Yeah.
by I'm not even gonna try pronouncing his name right now. But oh, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Crap. Oh yeah, Geralt isn't really someone who has friends. He just has people who he has history with. He doesn't really have people he hangs out with. I just think it's interesting. I think it's
I
funny.
think he has friends.
He has
Yeah.
friends. Like there's what's the dwarf's name? Zardan?
I was just thinking of the dwarf and I can't remember. I think it's Zardan, something.
He has friends, but I feel like he's
Durgan,
someone who people assume he
Dandelion.
doesn't have friends, and like he wouldn't necessarily admit that he has friends all the time. Like it's just kind of a funny character trope.
Yeah,
of
Geralt's
Geralt.
the kind of person who doesn't have friends. He has family.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
I
Like,
think that's
yeah.
more accurate.
Yeah, he's like, cause like Eskel and Lambert and why can I never remember Vesemir?
That's
Doesn't
weird.
mean-
They're like family, and then you have like that extended family in like Dandelion, who's his like adopted younger brother, you know, like, and these, yeah, it's just. It's
I also like all the
good
people that he doesn't get along with, but that like respect him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like
Like
guys
the,
like Dijkstra and the guy, I can't remember the guy, but the guy who like runs the like was it Temerian like gorilla group?
Oh,
Roach.
He's got like the like turban thing.
Roach. Yeah,
Roach.
Roach.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have the same
Yeah,
name. He has the
'cause-
same
yeah, they
name
have
as
the
his
same name
as his
horse.
horse,
Yeah,
yeah.
They have the
but it's
same
just
name,
spelled
but
differently.
it's like ROCHE.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just like it. We could talk about Witcher forever, but we're gonna talk about the first #1 game according to the Guardian from 2015,
Oh.
Bloodborne.
Damn.
Bloodborne, but make it funk.
2015.
Oh my god, I
Um,
have to send that video to Kelly.
don't
Another
know-
game I haven't beat, and I fucking love it.
So good.
Yeah, like I don't know that we
dude.
can really say anything about Bloodborne that hasn't been said,
Yeah.
I could. It's fucking amazing. Oh wait,
but like, it's so fucking good.
I'm just gonna put this in the chat right now because I'm jamming out to it.
And the thing that's so cool is that like they could have just made like they did end up making another Dark Souls game, but Hidetaka Miyazaki was like I have other mechanical ideas. Like I don't want to just keep making Dark Souls.
Yeah.
He literally made one. He made Demon Souls, but then he made Dark Souls. Somebody else made Dark Souls 2 because he was busy working on Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Yep.
I want to do something different. It would have been so easy to make like 7 Dark Souls games that would have all sold really well. But he was like, no. I want to do different mechanical stuff. I want to have a different lore and world and setting and new mechanics and weird shit. And like, that's what I want to do. And he just did it. He's fucking great.
Honestly, I just think it's
fucking
amazing how well they fucking tackled like the eldritch horror genre.
So good.
Like with the company, and I assume someone who has like no experience with it. Like it's just like, hey, we make fantasy, like really, really like challenging fantasy games, and they're like, hey, here's a fucking eldritch horror, fucking like just what? Where'd that come from? And it's
Well, I
so
think
good.
The best thing about it is that they didn't tell you that at all.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no.
It wasn't marketed as that. Like it.
So
just
when it
is.
starts to creep in, you get that exact feeling that characters in a Lovecraft novel get when they don't know they're in a Lovecraft novel.
Yep.
And you're suddenly like, what the, like the first time you come across a weird jellyfish head person with tentacles
my
for
God.
limbs, and you're like, hold on, I was slaying werewolves. What happened?
Wait. Werewolves are just eldritch monstrosities? What? It's fucking so goddamn good because it tries to like do this whole story about almost like there's like this insidious alien nature that is permeated throughout the thing, and then once you go to Old Yarnum, you actually kind of see it. You're like, this isn't just what it is it?
There's more
You know?
going on here. Yeah.
Yeah, like there is that sort of like undertone the moment you get to Old Yarnum where the guy's like, no, it's just beasts here. Like, go away and we won't have any other problems. And you're like, why do you care? Like, I don't know. It's just there's the Bloodborne does a great job of not answering your question. but constantly giving you a new one. And I think that's just like that in and of itself is Lovecraftian, right? That's what drives every Lovecraft
We can't understand.
protagonist,
Yeah.
right? Is like, what's behind the door? Why is the man always in the cold room? Blah 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 blah, right? Some of Lovecraft's turns are really bad, and some of them are quite interesting.
Like I beat that game 2.5 to 3, basically 3 times now, and like I know what the story is. Like I know what happened, but I don't really know what happened. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Ascending.
Yeah, it's hard. Hey, that's Zach.
Oh, is that Zach? Hey, Zach's watching the stream.
Zach
Welcome.
Zach
Zach Pog. God damn it.
So yeah, Bloodborne is great. There we go.
We need. I want to go back and play it with Benny again. I want to keep going with Benny because then it'll force me to actually finish it.
I also wish that I could play it again for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could forget Bloodborne and play it again.
Oh God. Well, like, there's so many good things about Bloodborne specifically. Like, I don't know if you guys know that some of the hidden Easter egg details, but like, there's a part of the game where things start to appear in the open world because you've sort of lifted the veil of reality back. Like, the idea of like Lovecraftian horror is that you can't unlearn certain things, right? Like once you've learned them, you either go insane or they're just constantly around you, but nobody else can really confirm that information because it's something that only you can really know.
Yeah.
So you're not sure if you're crazy or you're not sure if you just see the truth. But there's like the mechanic insight, but if you get enough insight before you get to like the part where the veil is lifted back, you lift the veil yourself and you can look around and be like,
so cool.
Shit, what the fuck? All these things are around me. Fuck.
And they've been there the whole time.
And and they're just always there. They're just like, it's so good.
All right, we're blitzing through 2016. Luckily for 2016, their list is only 10. The other lists have been longer.
Right.
So
let's go.
The first game they have at their number 10 is called Steven's Sausage Roll.
You okay?
The next game they have is Forza Horizon 3.
Never played it, but same comments as before.
The next game they have, we'll try to keep this brief, is Overwatch.
Yes.
Thank you, Overwatch, for making competitive first-person shooters accessible to fucking big-ass superhero nerds like us, and kept me playing till literally today.
Yeah.
And caring about your world and not just throwing a fucking Call of Duty at us.
Yeah, like I wish more of the world and story was kind of integrated into the game, but the amount of effort that went into building that world and like all the detail for the characters and the stuff you can know about them that gives context to that world, very cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Very fun.
It hooked us into
for a long time.
Yeah, it hooked us into a game that I feel like we would not normally play. At least, especially you, Kelly. I feel like it's a game that like Jack and I might play, or Jack and Sean would play, but I don't think it's something that you would necessarily play a lot of, Kelly, and you still play it because at the end of the day, you can be like, oh, I'm going to be a big fucking warrior with a hammer and a shield, or I'm going to be a fucking ninja with a fucking sword, or you know what, I'm just going to be a fucking hacker chick with the fucking cyberpunk shit going, right? Like, there's just so many cool options.
Fuck Sombra.
Not allowed.
Oh, wow. 9.
Next game on their list is Battlefield 1.
Jack?
Battlefield.
We play. Hold on.
1.
You played it, that's it. I didn't play it at all.
2,
I
5.
think it's just with Benny, to be honest.
Yeah, you and Benny played it because you guys got it on the Xbox or something. I don't know.
Was it? I don't remember. But anyways, it was actually not too bad. It was, the thing with Battlefield is it's not very, but it's like if you were in that scenario yourself, you would feel like this would be what's happening.
It's like a really good simulation of World War One.
Yeah, so like there'd be like zeppelins in the air, like fucking, I mean, that probably wouldn't happen, but like you're like on a zeppelin, you're just fucking chilling up there, and there's like biplanes like going zooming around and shit like that.
Battlefield 1 was a game that I constantly was seeing footage of, and I actually really wanted to check it out, and I never did. And it kind of is past the point now. I'm sure if I went on, there'd be people still playing it, but
It did look kind of cool, I have to admit that.
yeah.
It was just kind of like cool, like if you're in that scenario, kind of there, you're just there and you're like witnessing. I will say with like all the Battlefields, it's much better to play with other people.
Yeah, of course.
Because like you're in a squad, right? You're like, I'm in a squad, right? So
Yeah.
kind of makes it like that.
Cool.
next game on our list, Dark Souls 3.
Ooh, very good. Very
Also
good.
very good, very fun.
Yeah, we've addressed their penchant
Nameless-
for just making good games.
Nameless King is one of my favorite boss fights ever.
Dude, Nameless King boss fight is so good.
One of the
good.
best, one of my favorite fantasy aesthetics, to be completely honest.
Really?
Like this
You
kind
like
of
the, like,
yeah.
darker kind of broken
Slow-
fantasy aesthetic?
slowly
It's not even.
rocking
It's not even the. It's
post-apocalyptic.
like there's something about like the embered. I don't know what it is. It's like a soul that's almost dead, kind of a thing like this. You're just like you're
Yeah,
still burning, but
it's
you're
a
not out
flame that's
yet.
burning out.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just something about like that like kind of like story mechanic and that concept that just makes the dark fantasy feel more like high fantasy, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of,
Interesting.
I don't know, it's weird, but I like, honestly, like anytime I think about some of my favorite fantasy art, I always think of Dark Souls 3, like all the time,
That's cool
constantly.
because that premise really like permeates the world design and like the aesthetic of the whole game, right? Like the
Mhm.
entire game feels like a world that won't quite let go, that won't quite
Won't
give
quit.
up, but it's really
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Everything's breaking, but it's not quite broken yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
And, I just
And a
think that
game we
is
still go
cool.
back to and play, and I'd like to continue playing with you guys because I was
Yeah,
having a
dude.
good time. I want to, because
I'll
again,
play it
another
whenever.
game I haven't beat, but I love it.
I'll play it whenever.
I know it's like antithetical to like the game's kind of design, but I wish co-op was just
Easier, and it was
to
just like,
do.
let's play it co-op
Mhm.
and just
a little,
yeah, no, I agree.
a little
Yeah.
like more streamlined because they're people who are just gonna go through the hoop anyway. So just fucking let them.
Especially
Yeah,
when
that's
like
the
it's
thing,
like
right?
especially when it's like you two who have beaten it, and then there's me who like I would prefer to play it with you, but because of the way the co-op mechanic works, we have to keep going back to your guys' games and like beat your part and then come back to just to continue mine, and it kind of slows it down. You're like, like I just want to play. Let's go, right? So yeah, it's a shame, but no, yeah, I always think of either when I think of my favorite kind of like fantasy aesthetics and art, it's either like the Lord of the Rings, like total like beautiful forest landscapes, like all that kind of stuff, or it's like Dark Souls. Like that is like my two. Love it, love it.
Next game on our list is Stardew Valley.
Haven't played it, but I'm more than willing to play it.
Julie's put a lot of hours into it, and she loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of those games that every time I hear somebody who has played it, they're like, "Yep, it's great. I'll keep playing it forever."
Yeah.
Next game is Inside.
Love Inside.
I know you do.
I think I
Love
watched Sean play a good chunk of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
a-
played it in the living room and it was so surreal. Like it's such a dark surreal world that I'm almost not sure I understand it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I definitely need to play it again because there's a lot of stuff I'm like I think I missed the details,
Details,
of like,
yeah.
what's actually
There's
going
a lot
on.
to unpack there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd like to
man,
play
it's
it at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
very good.
Next game is Firewatch. Pretty sure Sean's the only one who's played this one.
Love it. Also very good. Kelly, you should play it because it asks you to be an actor.
Yeah.
It genuinely asks you what you want to write about as a writer, and it asks you to role play. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what about your history do you want to, believe in? And what about this like relationship that you're developing throughout the game is true to you and this character that you've helped create? Honestly, probably the best example of a walking simulator I've ever seen. There's genuine drama and thrills, and it's interesting and fascinating, and it's got a lot going on, and I would highly recommend anyone who wants to sink their teeth into something that's probably about 5 hours, 6 hours of good story, like just genuinely
Cool.
good story and writing. Like, yeah.
Our next
Awesome.
game has basically no story to speak of, but took the world by storm. Any guesses?
What year is it? 2015?
2016 now.
16?
No story and took the world by storm.
No.
Like
Soul-
literally the entire world was playing this game.
I was gonna say Overwatch, but you already said that.
Oh no.
Came out in 2016.
Oh no.
It was
We're old.
fucking massive. We all played it too.
Breath of the Wild?
No, that's 2017, I believe.
Oh.
Oh.
Console? What console?
Your phone.
Phone.
What?
I wanna be the very
Oh,
best.
Pokemon Go.
Like no
Oh my
one ever
God.
was.
Wow.
Pokemon Go, baby.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go is great. I loved Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go
Go.
is the
Pokemon Go to the polls.
essential. Yeah, the
You guys and I are on the
essential.
same fucking wavelength.
Did he say it?
Yes.
I was thinking it. I wish I said it too. Damn it.
God damn it.
Timing.
Pokemon Go is, in my opinion, like the beauty of games.
Right?
It is the epitome of like what you want a popular game to do, especially one like on mobile where like everyone has access to it. And yeah, like friends who I know who have not talked about Pokemon since they fucking watched the cartoon when they were kids were fucking outside catching fucking Pokemon. Like it was honestly, it was very surreal. It was very surreal that whole summer everyone was fucking obsessed and then it just disappeared.
Well, I remember us going on like walks and trips as a group to try to like hunt down cool Pokemon.
I remember going.
We used to
that
go to the
cemetery.
cemetery up our street
Oh my
because there were so
God.
many gyms there.
Yep. You can find ghost Pokemon.
I have a funny little story actually about that. Is last year I think in October, Sam and I were fortunate enough to go to Hawaii with her family to
Yeah.
celebrate like a family event. We were there for like a week. And at this point, this was last year, so at this point I hadn't played Pokemon Go in like a couple of years. Like I hadn't touched it in a long time,
Yeah.
but it was still on my phone, and I was like, huh, I'm in Hawaii. I wonder if they have any interesting Pokemon over here. So like in the hotel room, I like fired up Pokemon Go, and I just wanted to. I caught it. There was like we were right on the beach, so there was like a few, like water types, that were in the area, but like it wasn't anything crazy. But I just remember specifically having that thought of like, I wonder if there are unique Pokemon in Hawaii.
There are content locked Pokemon or like region locked
Yeah.
Pokemon, which I think
It was content locked. Yeah, I remember we could get Pinsir, but we couldn't get like Scyther, and we couldn't get we couldn't get Magmar. Like there was a bunch of Pokemon that like we didn't have access to.
That's only available in Asia. I
We
think.
could get-
Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd was in Asia. Tauros was here.
Yeah, we could get Tauros.
And Pinsir was here, but Scyther was like South America, and like it was there was a
Yeah.
bunch of really
Well,
cool stuff.
Kangaskhan you could only get in Australia.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
very, very cool, very, very fun. And I think I wish that it's sad because what ended up happening is, at least in my opinion, is that like there are the people who are like, because the Pokemon community is so fucking hardcore and like they play the games like crazy, and so there eventually was like a meta, and these people were like so committed that they would do the same route every day and like train the same Pokemon and catch the same Pokemon and constantly leveling up so quickly that I would start going to gyms. I was like, I'd be on my way to work, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna try to beat this gym, and it was just impossible because like these guys had leveled up their Pokemon so high that I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like I can't beat this guy, and so I kind of just like stopped playing. But I think like being able to go places and catch Pokemon was the coolest thing. Was just like
Yeah,
fitting
that's
your
the only part
collection.
that
And obviously GPS technology is only so good right now. But I think in a perfect world, the where you go to find the Pokemon would be way more specific. So you could like go to a park and these Pokemon would be here. You go to a suburb and like these Pokemon would be here. You could go up Mount Seymour and like those Pokemon would be there, right? Like I think the only time it was like that was when you were next to the water. There would actually be more water Pokemon, but beyond that, there wasn't a huge difference as far as like where you were that made a difference of what kind of Pokemon showed up. What mattered more was the time of day, I think. But the fact that those things were things they were trying to do, I just think is so cool.
Yeah,
so
very cool
cool.
concept, pretty good execution. Like it was just a cool game that struck at the right time.
Oh yeah.
And Hillary Clinton made a really bad joke trying to get people invested in voting.
Pokemon go to the polls.
And I distinctly remember she said it like she was trying to struggle how to say. She was like, "Pokemon go to the polls." Like she was really clearly like she just heard the word Pokemon like 2
For the
minutes
first
before.
time,
When her
yeah.
speechwriter and campaign manager were like,
Yeah.
"Trust us, this is gonna hit big." And she's like, "What's a Pokemon?" Poke. They're like, "No, it's
Pokeman?"
Pokemon." And then she's like trying to hit all the syllables when she's on stage.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I
"Okay,
don't want to say it wrong.
She's like, I rehearsed this. She's like, ready? She knows the joke's
Pokemon.
coming. She's warming up. She's like, okay. I get to the point. To get the kids to Pokemon go to the polls. Crushed it. Fucking nailed it.
Crushed it.
We got it, boys and girls. and it just did not land.
Mission
Yeah.
failed. We'll get him next time.
Something that did land, however, is the Guardians' #1 game of 2016, Uncharted 4.
I'm writing that down. I haven't played it yet.
I also haven't played any of the Uncharted games.
I binged all the Uncharted games when 4 was announced or right after it came out because it looked so cool. I played it late. I didn't play it in 2016, but my God, that game's great. I just played like a couple weeks ago. I finally played Uncharted Lost Legacy, which came out like a year later or 2 years later, or whatever. And it just reminded me of how good Uncharted 4 was because Lost Legacy was also awesome, and Uncharted 4 was fantastic, so good, such a good game.
Fan 4 stick.
Fan 4 stick.
And 4.
I can't wait to play as Tom Holland.
Not my fucking tempo.
Yeah, he's playing the old Nate Drake. There's a fun set photo of him talking to Nolan North on set, which I think is nifty.
Ooh, that's fun.
But yeah, just obviously there's the little narrative dissonance about how many people Nathan Drake murders.
So many, thousands of people,
but, like,
hundreds.
Other than that, the basic like Indiana Jones-esque like go to a place and solve weird esoteric puzzles and like loot for stuff. And Naughty Dog was doing really fun stuff. Like Nate, in most of the books, Nathan has like some kind of journal, and like that's kind of your pause menu. And so it's kind of similar to The Last of Us 2. So like when you bring it up, it's got little notes that like Nate makes as you progress through the game. So like it keeps track of your adventure, but like from Nate's perspective, and like when he encounters puzzles, he draws little doodles of them and stuff, so you remember them. Yeah. And it's really, and the action was really fun. They added a grappling hook, which always gets me excited. Anytime I can get a grappling hook in a game, I'm like so in.
I played the first one and I had a great time, and I just remember the combat being really clunky, but other than that, the game being like such a good experience, and I'm very excited to continue playing the next ones.
Guess how many people Nathan Drake kills in all 4 games?
Oh no. Like over 100?
It's over 1,000. It's
way
over
over.
1,000.
Way over. Yeah.
Um,
You're correct, Kelly. It's over 1,000.
Yeah. Is it over 2,000?
No, it's not over 2,000.
Okay.
Going with half.
Yeah, 1,700.
Price is Right rules. Brandon.
1,500.
I already said 1,500.
1,500. Okay. So Brandon, are you going to be a dick?
1,600. 1,600.
Okay. Kelly is the closest without going on. It's 1,829 people.
Why?
1,829 people.
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd, and like they never address it.
What the fuck?
Like it's not a thing. It's so weird.
Good.
Genocide.
It's also funny because like the shooting mechanics are fine, but they're not great, and there are just too many enemies. Like there are just, I love those games, but there are just too many people to kill. Like you need the combat. It's part of like the adventure sort of game thing. It helps break up the puzzles, so you're not just going to a place and solving a puzzle. But like, there are too many people. Every encounter, you're like, okay, that was a good number, and then you're like, you've done a quarter of the enemies that you're going to be killing. In this scenario. Like they just keep coming. There's just more of them. And like in the stealth sections, you always think like, oh, I found everybody, and there's always like one more guy that you didn't account for.
Yeah. I was getting so frustrated. I have 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll actually end this here, and we'll conclude our retro through the gens next time.
Yeah, that's fine.
The last couple of years, because I'm not going to try to go through like 3.5 years in 10 minutes, based on how this one.
Lightning round. Let's go. Let's go. I just made like a huge list of games that I have to finish. I have Dragon Age, Wolfenstein, Shadows of Mordor, Until Dawn, Ori and the Blind Forest, Undertale, Her Story, Uncharted series, and then I remembered I still have to finish Mass Effect, so I wrote down Mass Effect.
No.
Specifically 3. I'm literally at the end of 3, and then I put it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first half of our like year by year look back at the previous generation. It's kind of fun to look at like where you were like in life too, right? Like we just started to get into the years of a couple things happened in those years. Obviously we moved in together and stuff, and that was crazy, but also like up until that point I was really like, I'd play most games that I wanted to play right when they launched, but there started to be so many games, and so many of them were so big, and they started to add so many of those like microtransactions or like deluxe editions that come out 2 years later with all the content and like all that stuff. That this was really when I started like just waiting. Like there are some games that I'll play day one. Like if it's a superhero game, I'll play it day one. If it's made by From Software, I'll play it day one. Occasional like benchmarks that are like that's a day one purchase. But this was really when I started like just waiting. A game that I really, really wanted to play and I knew I would come out and I'd be like, I'll get it in a year.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been a change in which I'm also more picky about what games I play now, right? Like for instance, I think many of us can attest to the fact that some of us are completionists, and it's like, okay, well, if one game comes out, like we're gonna continue and finish the series. But for instance, like I don't really care if I ever get to all the Assassin's Creed games. I don't really care if I ever play Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't really care, right? Like, there's a lot of games where I'm kind of like, I'm not going to play it just for the sake of being like, oh, well, I've played all the Mass Effect games and I'm the biggest Mass Effect fan ever. I just go, no, like, if I have spare time, sure, but there are other games that are going to be way more worth my time I'm going to have more fun with. And I'm glad that I've transitioned to doing that because I have more fun playing video games now.
We're also, like, well into adulthood at this point. Like, you just don't have the time. You've got other responsibilities, right? Like... Yeah, sure. Do I want to play every Mass Effect game just to complain about Andromeda? Sure, but am I going to? No, because I don't have the time to play shitty games anymore. I just can't. Like the last, I think, truly bad game I played that I just like didn't like. I played just solely to finish the game was probably Dragon Age Inquisition. And it's the only reason I did that is just because like I was so invested in the story at that point that even though I wasn't like enjoying the combat, I just was like, okay, I just want to get to the story. And it's the reason I'll probably play the fourth game. Like hopefully it will be better.
Yeah.
Not likely, but hopefully.
Yeah. This is also the era when I started like, you know, Brandon, you talk about being a completionist. This is the era when I stopped doing that. Because before it was like, I got to get all the things, I gotta do all the stuff, and I started to get to a point where I was like, man, like I'll enjoy the game as much as I think the game deserves to be enjoyed.
Yeah,
no more. Just because they put a bunch of arbitrary bullshit in their game does not mean that I'm obligated to do it.
It's also very capitalist, right? It's very capitalist. It's like I gotta complete and do all the content and get it fucking done, and like you keep releasing it, so I gotta keep buying it and keep playing it. But I don't need to. I don't have to do that at all. I don't have to do that at all, right? Like I even mentioned on the previous podcast that I was the guy that when I bought a game, this is like 360 era. When I bought a game, I bought all the DLC. Did I play all the DLC? No, but I was like, I'm an owner of this title. I want all the content. And so I used to just buy it. And again, back then it was like you might get $20 worth of DLC afterwards. Like usually it wasn't a lot. There was a few games that might have like a huge expansion, but yeah, I just don't do that anymore. The amount of games that I don't own like any of the DLC is insane compared to my collection on 360. Like there's just games where I'm like, oh, there's this cool little side story, but it's not really part of the main story. No, I'm just gonna leave it. Oh, this DLC comes with like a skin pack. No, I'm okay. I don't need it for any reason. I got to play the game.
Well, dude, Assassin's Creed, they actually have like these really cool like alternate universe DLC things that they add. But I'm like, dude, you made your game 700 hours long and the next one is already out. I don't have time for your fucking DLC.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
The Assassin's Creed games in particular are very weird because they tried to create this longevity with every single one of their titles, but well past the release of their next game. Like, it's super weird. It's super, super strange. And so, like, there was, like, literally, I was getting ads for, like, New Origins DLC and shit, like, that came out, like, around the time that Odyssey came out. And I'm like, what? Why?
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's just silly. Games, man. Games.
They're fun, but
games.
Fuck them.
But fuck them. Eat the rich. Wait.
Eat the rich.
Wrong soapbox.
Burn it
for
down.
The day. Yeah, I think that'll be us for this week.
I want to wish all of our American viewers much love today.
Yeah, much love and
much
good luck.
Good, yeah. Don't know how much I'm gonna pay attention to it today because it's just gonna give me a lot of stress and anxiety.
Well, the thing is that the result will be the result, you know. But
yeah, exactly. But I don't need to go on news being like, oh, like Biden's winning in this area and Trump's winning in this area. I just don't need it. I just don't need it today.
No,
I'll wait till
putting my focus on that is not going to help. me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or it, really. It does
So
nothing.
much love to our American viewers. Thank you everyone again for just being the coolest people ever.
For just hanging out with us.
Just hanging out.
Wow.
Thanks for coming to our
Thanks.
podcast.
Alrighty.
Chilling out.
Watch this space next week when we break down the best games from 2017 to the first half of 2020.
Yeah. You know, I will say, never mind. We're gonna break down the rest of the half. I'll say next week.
Cool. Make a note so you don't forget.
There you go. Perfect. Again, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you again for the amazing Halloween we had. And I think I'm going to release a streaming schedule really soon. So look out for that. I'm going to release like on these days or the days I'm going to be streaming. And it's going to be good. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
Bye-bye.
Flaps. Slip slap. Bye bye.